Hello everyone and welcome to the Spell Chess Championship. I'm Benjamin Bach and I'm joined by Ben Nordic, Spell Chess expert. Ben, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great having you. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be an exciting championship. But Ben, let's talk real quick about the format.
Yes, please. Let's have a look.
All right. So yeah, as everyone can see, it is 8 players. It's a double elimination bracket. It will be best of 4 games, so first to 2.5, and the time control is 3+2. And Ben, spell chess is a very difficult variant. I think the players definitely need to watch their time. I mean, as soon as you get in the time pressure, you are gonna make mistakes. I mean, tell us all about it.
Absolutely. So the first thing in time pressure is that some moves are two-step. There is an optional spell phase before you make your regular chess move. You always got to make your regular chess move. You don't always have to use a spell, but if you are going to use a spell, you've got to select either the freeze or the jump, click where on the board you mean to put it, and then complete your regular move. The freezes and the jumps can really add a massive amount to the game, and in time pressure, it can be very, very tough to calculate.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk more about spell chess very soon, but let's have a look at the qualified players of today. Here we have them.
Down to the losers bracket. If we see them later, they will have to beat the winners bracket's winner twice if they do want to win, because it is double elimination. That would cause a grand final reset. So they'd have an uphill battle, but it is not over.
Yeah, and yeah, so Ignacio, also a strong player. He came second. And Luca Moroni actually won last year. Unfortunately, he's not playing today. So it shows that the Grandmasters definitely can play spell chess as well. Didn't Moroni also win in 2024, Ben?
That is correct.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, lucky for the other players, he's not here today. But Ben, you last year, you came fourth in the Spell Chess Championship. You're definitely an expert. Tell everyone, what have you done for spell chess and what are you currently working on?
Sure, thank you. Well, if you see below my name here, I am the developer of spellchess.win, the spell chess opening database. I know some in the community have been using this to practice their openings, see what the strong theory is, what works in practice, and what might be a surprise. I'm also working on a spell chess engine named Frostbite. You have to hunt through the spell chess forum for the beta link, as it's still in development, but it is quite strong and has scored some wins against very strong players.
That's awesome. Well, I'm very curious to see what openings we'll see the players use. Are there any favorite openings that you have?
Oh, yes. There's both sort of classical principled openings and also some very tricky ones that I'm wondering whether the specialists are going to maybe deploy against the titled players who are, of course, very good at chess, but might not know what's all up in spell chess. As white, I like to play e4, d4, c3, create a big center. But more recently, people have been developing a lot of minor pieces, which was not a big thing when I created the database a year or so ago, but that has come up, and I think we're going to see at least some of that today.
Yep. And as the players are getting ready to play today, let's see what they're actually...
So we see so many that you see on the forums who aren't even titled.
Yep. All right, so I suppose the players are getting underway any second now. By the way, the top streamers prize that we mentioned earlier was won by Arjan Rahimpour, so congratulations to him. So yeah, I guess the games are going to get started very soon. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Name one player that is going to win today.
Oh, like win the entire thing or win a match?
Yeah. Win the entire thing.
Win the entire thing. Well, the favorite is Gaspar Orvier, the world number one. I know he's been practicing so hard. He's risen through the ranks to become world number one, which was not the case even a few months ago. So he's really been putting in the time. And I think he could have a very good showing today.
Yep. All right, well, I'm going to pick Nudminto then. Dragon B70, our variants expert. He's here like every single month. So let's see what he can do. By the way, we're just letting everyone know we're going through some fair play checks because, yes, also in spell chess, you know, we got to make sure that nobody has any weird magic, just only the spells that they can use on the chessboard. Make sure that everything will be fair and square. So yeah, we're gonna get underway very soon. Mhm. Oh, people are saying dragon. Okay, saying need a drink. Saying dragon B70. I don't know. Is dragon B70 in the chat? I know he's someone who shows up in our chat.
I think he will
Um,
be playing. That is Nat Ming To.
hmm Yeah, indeed. All right. So yeah, will definitely be some exciting action. I'm very curious to see how Alexei Sarana will do. I've played spell chess a few times myself, and sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm not too bad at this game. Then I play someone who's really good, like Not Minto, and you just lose without any chance. And you're like, oh well, this is just a variant. I don't care. But oh, I think we are on our way. So let's have a look. Here we have Dragon B70 against Patrick. So what do you think of this opening so far, Ben?
Oh, right. Well, it looks like we have a common attack by white. So we got, trying to rewind it just a little bit and see what happened. We got e6, I believe, on move one by black. Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. And this is a very common aggressive opening by white, preventing the knight and pawn on the c file from blocking the jump threat to black's king. The jump spell, the green one, of which you get two for the entire game, allows you to make a single piece or pawn transparent, jumping over it, and perhaps taking something on the other side, such as the king. And it looks like if we go forward a bit, what has black chosen to do against this? There's a couple different ways to treat this attack, and one of the most common is to counter freeze, preventing the bishop from moving and therefore from jumping and taking black's king, and making your own threat against white's king on that dark square diagonal.
Mm-hmm. Right, so white played c3, preventing the jump. Black played c6, preventing white's jump to their king. So we see trade, trade. Knight c3, knight c6. Pretty sharp stuff.
Yes,
Knight
this is
f3. Oh, sorry, go
all
ahead.
very standard. I play this especially against black's e5 response. It's even more potent, this freeze attack, when black has played e5, because the light square diagonal toward f7 can become a big issue in the future.
Absolutely, yeah. By the one thing I should point out, everybody, a common mistake that beginners might make in spell chess is playing a move like Queen h5, thinking like, hey, I'm threatening a jump on the black king, but then black uses their jump spell over the h7 pawn, and the rook on h8 can take the queen on h5. So if you're watching, definitely something not to do. All right, so let's see. So white sacrificed the pawn to get the full center and a lead in development. So Ben, what do you think about this position so far, if I may say so, with my normal regular chess grandmaster brain? I would say white is a little bit better, has a nice center. A nice idea I potentially see is a well-timed bishop g5, because that cannot be met with f6, because then you hang your king with a jump spell. The one thing that you always have to watch out for is your opponent freezing you at the worst time, and the experts in this variant are very good at that. But yeah, Ben, go ahead and explain everyone what is going on.
Yes, absolutely. So black is being very safe here, very wise to just block up that diagonal toward their king, as you well pointed out. They do not have the option of pushing the f-pawn to dispel a minor piece along the dark square diagonal, because that would indeed blunder the king. They've now created some safety. Ooh, that's very interesting. That I believe they didn't take anything there, so that is what I would call a jump sacrifice. Jumps are very, very powerful because, like you said, often you can win a queen, a heavy piece, or the king. And so I usually try to save up my jumps for the big wins, but there are advanced tactics, and these players are going to be pulling out their best tactics, where you use a jump to put a piece on a great square. So it's going to be very interesting to see what black is trying to make with this bishop on g4.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see this move bishop to g4, because yes, it is a great positional move. I mean, obviously you'd much rather have your bishop on g4 than on c8, but like you said, it comes at the cost of a jump, which is definitely very valuable. Wow, and white gives up their jump. That is honestly a little bit surprising to me. I was honestly just expecting them to recapture with the queen. Maybe they were worried about knight c2, but I thought maybe that move could still be met with rook to d1, and in case black takes, then you can activate a spell. But anyway, right now we have a more or less equal position on the board and in terms of spells.
Yes, that's right. Now, I do understand why white didn't take with the G pawn, because that's going to open the file to the king, and that can get very, very scary. Yeah, interesting choice to use the rook. Although I do see one possible idea, because you are getting material back, so it's not a total throw away of the jump. And it does prepare to put the rook on g3 toward black's
Mm,
king for some jump ideas in the future. That's probably white's idea, I would think.
yeah, and also the rook on g3 will fulfill a great defensive role. By the way, I'm looking at some ideas. What if queen g4, rook g3, and is there a world where black can take and freeze the white queen? I suppose not, because I guess white will freeze black back and then take the queen on the next turn. But let's see. Oh wow, he throws the rook on f3.
Wow, so now we have to consider what is black's follow-up. So, oh, actually, here white has choices. So of course you can counter freeze and just stop the queen from doing the jump next turn. But white also has the choice of jumping the rook on f3 with the queen and queen g3. That would basically trade a jump for a freeze. I'm not sure I would love to do that, because that would be my last jump as white. If I had two jumps left, I'd absolutely do it, because then the freeze imbalance is going to cause all sorts of issues in the end game, which we'll explain later when I'm sure we will find a game where that becomes
So
relevant.
what about this? What about, yeah, I was just about to say, what about the move rook a4 here? As you hit the queen and you threaten checkmate, isn't this trouble for white?
It is very clever by black winning a jump, and now they pre-moved it, so we didn't actually quite see what happened. But what happened was that white jumped d4 with the queen. Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. To take black's queen. And the subtle thing about the spells in spell chess is that they apply on both your turn and your opponent's turn. So the d4 pawn was transparent to black as well. So notice how black still has a jump.
Oh,
So now black
nice,
is
nice.
up a jump, and that rook is going to potentially menace white's king in the endgame.
Yeah, they're very low on time. So king of one was played, getting out of the threat. Okay, we see, oh, okay, some interesting moves right here. Both sides super low on time now, so now anything can happen. I love that move f6, turning checkmate on one right now.
Beautiful. White is in trouble. Down the jump.
Hmm.
Not over
Oh,
though.
maybe.
If they can trade the rooks, then the jump is as useful as a chocolate teapot, because you don't have any pieces that slide.
All right, so now white super low on time. Black as well. Okay, king d1. Yeah,
Yeah,
forced.
black should not trade the rooks. Oh, they. That's surprising to me, because now their jump advantage doesn't isn't an advantage. Interesting. Maybe they think they can win the endgame with the activity of the knight.
Right. Okay, I'd say white's better. White's up a pawn. Can take this pawn as well. Of course, tricky. Let's see. Black still has the jump spell, but like you said, now that's useless because the knight cannot jump over pieces like a rook or a bishop can.
All right, so now they're actually playing normal chess. So this is all you, Grandmaster Bach. How would you play this?
All right, so let me do a quick count. White's up a pawn. White has one, two, three, four, five pawns. Black has four, so white's definitely pushing for the win. A five or king e3 also looks fine. Okay, I say now push this pawn and just make sure. Oh, but that hangs e5. This should be winning for Dragon. And Dragon, by the way, is an IM in normal chess, so I do expect him to win this one.
Hmm. Oh, is he meant to give up that pawn? Oh, I see. He gets that pawn.
Yeah. All right. So 8 seconds. No, I do expect to win here for for Dragon. Up two pawns. They're playing regular chess, and again, the jump is completely useless unless Black magically gets a queen, a6, and that's it. Actually, you don't sell the pawn.
Yeah. Well played from Dragon B70. I think Black's resigned. Yes. Great start from Dragon B70.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see if Patrick can strike back. Let's also have a look. We see here. Oh, yeah, we're going to the next game. Knight e4. Wow, is he threatening knight d6 and freeze this block? Is that his idea?
Probably, I don't think I've ever seen this opening before. There are lots of spell chess attacks where you bring a knight to d6 or f6 with a freeze. However, you've always got to think about what your follow up is when you're using a freeze, because your opponent's just going to freeze you back, and you have to do something to make a second threat. And here, it's just so early. I don't know what the second threat is.
Yeah. Okay, queen b6 played by black. All right, e3.
I've never
Okay,
seen this before.
yeah, this is really odd. I think why usually goes e4. Okay, so 96 is probably, maybe you can go 96, freeze all
Maybe
of
trying to
this.
bring the bishop to b5, but black can counter freeze and knight d7, shutting down the light square diagonal.
Right, so my idea here would be maybe to go knight d6, freeze all of this, and then when black counter freezes you, to follow with the move rook a6. Oh no, wait, but I guess,
Oh,
but maybe you're out of mana, right? Will you have enough mana to do that?
oh, you've got it. Because the freeze. Oh, that's a great question, by the way. The spells do have a cooldown, so after you use a freeze, you have to go 2 turns without a freeze before you can use it again. However, the cooldowns are separate, so you are
Oh
absolutely
yeah.
allowed to use a freeze and follow it up with a jump, and that is a great source of tactics. I think your idea might have been working because the queen would probably have to jump. You jump through it, and it might just end up being a trade rook and queen, rook and knight for queen. Not clear.
Yeah, but not sure who that favors, right? I mean, of course, the queen is a very powerful piece, but you lose a jump, and black gets a rook and knight for the queen, so definitely not the end of the world for black. Anyway, so
Right.
wait, but now isn't? Oh wait! Do not take the knight, because white will jump over the d pawn and take your king. That'd be a big blunder.
Yes, that would be an epic fail. We're not going to see that. These experts do know it. It is interesting now that the bishop has come to a4 that the edge file is no longer guarded so much by white's rook on a1. So black does at some point maybe have ideas of queen to a5. This is something that can be a source of blunders when you've suddenly blocked up and forgot about your edge file.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see.
In this case, I think it's
Should be
okay because it's just c3 and whatever, but something to watch out.
Dragon taking a lot of time, which is quite dangerous in this variant because there's always so much going on. You have to keep an eye on the chessboard, on the spell, so the clock is definitely a big factor here.
Oh, I think I see. This might be an attempt at a mating attack. The queen can potentially take on e. Well, no, it just trades. It just trades queens and maybe loses bishop. So I don't know that that's going to do it.
All right, so I suppose white's gonna play a move like, okay, he goes knight c4. Wait,
Oh, tricky, tricky. Oh no, my queen. And now that black's freeze
oh,
is on cooldown, that would be spellmate.
right. You take on b7 and then freeze this block over here, and that's mate,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, it won't actually end the game immediately because the knight will also be frozen, so it's not checkmate, but it is spellmate because black can't counter freeze, and freeze will expire next turn. The king will hang. Game over. Okay, now
Queen
this is
b4, threatening
very
mate a1.
yes, and now even if the queen wasn't patrolling b7 anymore, um, white would not have the freeze and checkmate attack because taking the king with a jump wins immediately, even if you would otherwise be in checkmate.
Right. Yep. I think the king always takes, preference over checkmate, so to speak.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's see what Patrick should do here. I mean, his king and queen are under attack. Very tricky situation that he finds himself in now.
Yeah, as white, my first thought would be c3, just stopping the queen jump, and if bishop takes queen, you take the queen. There might be something more to it, but that would definitely be my first candidate, and he does go for it.
Okay. Yep. right, so let's see. Now black had the freeze back, so knight takes b7 would now be checkmate, knight e7. All right, so looks approximately even to me, equal material. Let's see, in terms of spells, it is also equal, right?
Yep, so all very balanced here. The bishop is now threatening to come to b4, which is actually very hard to stop.
Yeah. All
And
right,
now
so
the
can
freeze
he
of the can't freeze.
take, or will he get hit with... Okay, he goes bishop c3. Okay, now dragon is definitely better, simply up a pawn.
And although he can't take with freeze because there's both a pawn and a knight on the square, and the freeze area is just not wide enough to cover them both.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
there was a
right, so
question from chat a minute ago about the knights, which are now coming into the game. Chat asked, "Are the knights less powerful in spell chess?" It depends. The bishops, of course, have the property that they only live on one color square, whereas the knights can really get up in your grill and cause big issues in the middle game, and we'll probably see some sort of that opening attack in later games.
all right, so we see e4 by dragon, grabbing more space, maybe knight e5, heading for the
Yeah,
d3 square.
yeah, that is a
Could
great
that...
square for the knight. That's the kind of thing I was talking about.
So if I was playing with white here, I would go king e2 to make sure that knight d3 and a freeze is never going to hit me at the wrong moment. And he goes king d1.
Makes sense. Did he have castling rights? I might have thought about
Yep.
castling there. Oh, here
Okay,
come the
knight,
knights.
yeah, knight d3, nice move. Potentially threatening to take here. I mean, actually not potentially. I think that's simply a threat with the
Huge threat.
fork.
And if knight
So
g4 is coming, can the knights just demolish the kingside?
yeah, rook h2, maybe b5. Oh, what is that?
He wants to, because if he had taken on f2 immediately, the rook could jump, and with not a huge amount of material on the board, it might. Whoa.
Okay, maybe now like knight b4 and freeze this entire block. He goes knight g4. This seems great for black. I mean, it seems like he's having a lot of fun with the knights. I like knight b4 still, and then maybe follow up with c5 and try to take this. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I can try to maneuver the other knight to harass the rook as a follow up as well.
We get a question in chat. If your king is in check, can you take the opponent's king to end the game? I believe so. I believe taking the king always just ends the game,
That is
right,
correct.
Ben? Yep.
Absolutely. So black seems to have achieved a trade of knights here, which of course favors black with just having an extra rook on the board. Very tricky
Now,
pin there, by the way.
yep. Just pointing out, don't take on f4 right away, because it would hang your king. If I jump, okay, rook e1, tricky, rook d1, but it can never be enough, yeah.
And for yeah, not really having a follow up there. Oh, okay. Here comes the follow up. I see. Yes, it's going to be some sort of maybe a ladder made on the A and B files with the assistance of the jump.
Yeah.
Yes, here it
All
comes.
right. Okay, so let's see. I think he's just freezing white.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you like,
winning the rook. There's the follow up. That's
yeah,
going to be the game.
that's very clinical. And yeah, he just takes an f6. Doesn't mind trades.
Oh, funny given.
Ooh.
This is mate in one actually with the freeze. Because
Oh.
okay, but it's also winning. But the reason it was mate in one there was that you always have to be able to complete a legal move on your turn. And so
Mm.
if all your pieces are frozen, nothing can move. You have no legal moves. Even if you could freeze your opponent, so what? You can't actually complete a move. So the game would be over.
And it would not be a stalemate?
No, well, good question. It could be if you included your own piece in the freeze zone, because then it wouldn't be giving check. However, as long as you make sure that your piece is outside the freeze zone, that is, it is active, it is giving check, that is checkmate.
Oh, so you would have to, right, check the opponent's king, and then it would count as checkmate. Okay, interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a big feature in spell chess endgames, is that you don't want to get all your pieces, all your mobile pieces at least, within a 3x3, because you can get very quickly checkmated, or maybe, or at least your opponent can swindle a stalemate. I got one of those in last year's finals, and I was extremely happy about the 3x3 swindle.
Oh, nice, nice. All right, so here we see the same opening. Dragon having a 2-0 lead, so he only needs another half a point. Perhaps we could switch to another match. I think it would be nice to see. Okay, wait. Let's actually have a look around the horn. We see that, oh, Gaspard is down 2-0. That's quite
Oh,
surprising.
wow. I guess the
Perhaps we should go to that one if we can.
candidate
Sarana.
master Yevgeny Miller, aka Jonas
Mhm.
Wrath, if you follow the leaderboard, is apparently bringing his regular chess mastery to bear.
Yeah, I might have played him like a few times in regular chess. Good player, and nice to see him giving Gaspard such a great match. All right, so we see Gaspard is down 2-0. Not Minto is up 2-0. We see Sarana and Ignacio are tied 1-1, and Yash Shah and Dimitro Yelin are also tied 1-1.
Yes, and Yash Shah is Zachar99 if you follow the leaderboards. Dmitro Ilin is Dmitro Ilin. Both very strong community players, and it makes sense that they are in a tight match for
Mm-hmm.
advancement.
Right. Okay. All right. So let's see. So here we see that Black has the bishop pair against White having two knights and a bishop, and Black also has a knight. So what do you make of this position? White also does have more space. If I had to take a guess, I would think maybe White's a bit better. What do you think?
Very possible. This it seems like Black has created what I call the triangle setup in response to White's creating a big center, getting that connect four chain. Oh wow, that's a great improvement by Black there, preparing to put the rook on the g file and harass the king. Yeah, in a lot of these opening setups, Black does get kind of cramped and has to be patient to develop, and
Mm-hmm.
White does have chances for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
here
we
comes.
also see that Black is up a lot of time. He's turning checkmate on one by jumping the g2 pawn. So I'd say White has to go king h1. And
Yep.
if Black can get the queen here as well, that'd be great. The thing is, you can, but it would come at the cost of a spell. Wow, White goes queen h5,
Threatening
freezes
the mate.
everything, and threatens the king. Yeah, difficult to stop.
I'm not sure. Okay. There is a trick here, a very good trick actually. If White can take on f7, which they can't because Black, of course, counterfroze. But if they could have taken on f7, then the rook would defend the queen through the jump of f2.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so rook g6 makes a lot of sense, blocking everything.
Yep, defending and
Um,
attacking.
This pawn is under attack. Let's see what White's gonna do. Wow,
Oh,
he takes the pawn on h7.
sort of a jump sacrifice to invade, I think. It's going to be hard to hit the back rank, though, because the rook on a8 controls the rank via the jump of the king.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see what Black's going to do. Maybe queen takes b2 is an idea, perhaps with the idea to go to also hit. Well, you're not threatening this because that is defended, I suppose, very soon. But maybe queen c2 is an idea, threatening to take that queen if White is out of a jump spell, but probably is going to regain that jump spell very quickly.
Right, so white will have their jump
Wait,
back.
what about this? Queen takes g2, is that a move?
That I don't know, because the queen on h7 is spying the rook. White may be able to freeze the rook, take the queen, and then if black counter freezes the king, the queen takes the rook and white has won a rook. And
Yeah,
if you
that's
freeze the queen, the king just steps away and you've lost your queen. However, this is incredibly scary for white.
it is, especially if you have 4 seconds on the clock. Queen h5 played. But
Oh,
Jonas
yes.
Rod is Evgeny Miller, right? So if he wins this
Correct.
one, it's going to be over for Gaspard. I mean, not in the tournament, but in this match.
Correct. Wow,
Two,
those heavy
maybe?
pieces. I think
Looks
if black
very
did that,
scary.
white would probably be happy to trade the jump just to get rid of the pressure. It would be unpleasant to play on down two jumps, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. Maybe an idea of like getting the queen to e4, but difficult. Because I suppose White's going to put their knight here, but maybe then you get the two knights for the rook.
It's an idea. Somehow, if black can get the bishops in the attack as well, it's just over. There's so much material already pointing at the king.
Yeah. Okay, and here comes the queen, rook b1. 3 seconds for white, so he's making these moves with 1 second on the clock.
Wow. He's trying to create some counterplay against black's back rank. It's tough, though, because of the rook on g8, patrolling via the jump.
Wait a second, didn't he hang
Ooh,
his queen?
he did hang his queen. That is a free queen.
That is shocking. Queen g2.
Oh, but
And
black wants the
I think
king
white's
more.
going to flag. Yeah, I called it. It's too difficult to, like, do something and, like, I even have trouble explaining what he has to do, right? So good luck actually doing that in 3 seconds.
Yeah, time management. Very tough. Well played by candidate master Yevgeny Miller. Chess experience is doing it in spell chess as well.
Yeah, so Gaspard goes down to the loser's bracket. He still has a chance to fight back, but if you lose early, your road in the loser's bracket is going to be quite long. So let's
Very
see
true.
this game right here. Sarana is down 2-1, so he has to win this game to stay in the loser's bracket. So let's see. We see, he is down a rook and a knight. I
It's
suppose
tough.
he's going to lose this one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is an issue because there's freeze at g2 and bishop takes knight, threatening the jump. Black does have a jump, right? Yes. Yeah, white is going to be in big trouble after that. Because the only piece that would be unfrozen for white is the dark square bishop, and the king's on a light square. So very hard to create counterplay. This also works.
All right, takes the pawn on d3, freezes everything. Now white should play a move like, I don't know, d6 and freeze this block from black.
You've got to freeze the bishop. Unfortunately, this gives the piece as well. Yeah, very tough.
Oh, look at that final move. I want to point that out, everybody. Knight to f3. This knight was not frozen, and now it's just a regular checkmate because the bishop cannot be taken, and the knight takes these squares away.
Yeah, spell just has these incredible, beautiful mates where one or all pieces are hanging, and yet the king just can't get away. Amazing. So also, that knocks...
that knocks out Sorana to the loser's bracket. In the meantime, by the way, I wanted to give a big shout out to our friends at Chess.24 for rating us. Thank you all so much. Hope you guys had a great broadcast in Biel. But let's have a look here. We see here, this is, I suppose, Yash against Dimitro. Dimitro is up 2-1. So if he wins or draws this one, he moves on. Wait.
I think he's got to win. No, you're right. You're right. You're always good enough. My math is not mathing for me. All right, what have we here? Ooh, the time pressure is already there.
Yeah, he's up. He just resigned. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just noticed there's no queen. Okay, that'll do it.
Yeah, no, white's up a queen for a knight, and black is also out of jump spells. The bishop is getting trapped. Still, okay. I suppose it's completely lost in jump chess. Spell chess. But I would still maybe play it out. Anything can always happen. But okay, these guys are experts. So that being said, let's have a look at our bracket. We see that we're now moving on to the next round. We see Yevgeny Miller, somewhat surprising, beats Gaspar 3-0. Not Minto beats Patrick 3-0 as well. We see Luis Ignacio beating Grandmaster Sorana 3-1. And we have Dimitro with the win against Yash. He moves on to the winner's semifinal as well. And now let's have a look at our loser's bracket. Those players still have a chance. Gaspard is facing off against Patrick, and Grandmaster Sorana is facing off against Yash. So will be interesting to see who's going to make it all the way back from the loser's bracket. Maybe Gaspard?
It's possible. Patrick Char is also a member of the community, and it's possible Orvier has played him before. Don't recall, but Orvier, very, very strong, and with them both being sort of specialists, Orvier definitely has a chance. They both have a chance. It's going to be really interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, the games are going to get underway pretty quickly. In like a minute or so, we're giving the players a little bit of a break. it will be interesting to see who's going to move on to the winners final. I mean, hey, I picked Nadmin Toe at the beginning. Let's see if he can do it. But Yevgeny Miller is showing some amazing spell chess, taking out Gaspar 3-0. I did not
I
see
did
that
not
one
expect
coming.
that at all.
No. So, what do you think he did? Do you think he had some good preparation? He practiced a lot? Yeah, what do you think he did leading up to this event?
Well, let's see. I did watch him during the qualifiers, and he has been playing. He has almost 1,000 rated games of spell chess played, so he definitely has experience. I think. Well, you know better than I how a title player's mind works, but it seems to me that they really get the flow in the brain once they get at least a little bit used to the variant, and then it's just exponential takeoff from there.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Okay,
other
so
titles, like rough, amazing.
yeah, we see White going for the scholar's mate, if you will, with Queen f3 and Bishop c4. Black defending with Queen e7. I mean, you can always, you don't want to be fully dependent on your spell, so makes sense to also defend
Yeah,
with a normal move.
Queen e7 is a very important and common move there. This is all pretty standard theory.
I guess Knight f6 is very risky, or perhaps even just losing, because it allows Queen takes f7, right?
Well, then the queen can take. Oh, now this is going to be interesting because with the king frozen, queen h5 is incoming. You can't take the bishop with the queen because then you hang your king to the jump of that queen. So probably what
Right.
black has to do, if I remember the theory, it's bishop takes f2 with the counter freeze. Yeah, we just
Yeah.
get a trade.
All right, we get some trades here, but I'd say this should favor White. That King and f7
Yeah,
looks a bit vulnerable. Knight f3, nice move hitting the pawn. Kingside castle's nice move as well, eyeing that king. So black needs to be extremely careful, and I'd say that king should step back as quickly as possible
agree.
to e8, and does so right away.
Yeah, I've wandered into this position as black a few times, and it is very unpleasant with white's knight coming in. But the
Okay,
queens are
so
on.
so what about this? He goes d4. I was thinking about ideas of like, let's say castles, and
Yes,
then
agree.
d6, maybe knight g5, knight f6, knight f7. Because if you take,
Oh,
you
yes. It's
expose yourself to
again.
this.
Absolutely. Yeah, white is just up in development here and looking pretty good. Game's far from over, though, but white does have an edge.
Yeah, this looks pretty pleasant for white. He can go, let's say, bishop f4, maybe queenside castles, and then bring a rook to e1, threatening checkmate. And this king is just never going to be safe. If white goes queenside castles, it's not going to be safe on the d file. If you go to the f file, a rook will always step over to that file. So this looks very unpleasant to me in spell chess.
I agree, and I think you're right about long castles. There's even ideas of lifting the rooks, which maybe not very good to do in normal chess, but in spell chess, getting them in front of your pawns with only one layer between them and the king side can be very powerful in spell chess.
All right, so h6 played, starting to take that bishop. Funny line by the
Is
oh,
he
by
though?
the way, he's not, because yes, he hangs the rook. Right?
Yeah, I mean, he does say, "Oh no, my bishop."
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, everybody, if he takes that bishop on g5, white will cast a spell on the h2 pawn and take the rook. But what black can do is you can take here and freeze this little corner right here. Then your rook on h8 is safe. But maybe white's going to go like rook d1,
I
threaten the
would be
king.
very scared, yeah, because of that with the threat, and then suddenly you've lost a freeze. There's also knight f5 there, threatening to counter freeze the king while black's on cooldown, taking on g7 or going to d6 with the mate.
This looks... Oh, wait. I think this is what he will do. If you take a knight f5, I think he will give up that bishop for the knight. I don't think you can keep that knight on the board. Maybe...
Freeze.
Wait. Maybe
Freeze
freeze
and
this
rook
block?
jump and take h6? Oh, no,
Oh.
no, I don't know if that works because the rook will jump in at the end as well.
Yeah.
But I would be 100% evaluating. Oh, that's also a move. Not a direct check, but an attack on the king. Definitely needs to be dealt with. Although white now has a whole lot of material in that lower 3x3, so their only free hand they're going to have after the counter freeze is the knight on d4. And where's it going? You can win a pawn, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah, let's see what Black's gonna do. He's probably gonna do the counter freeze on, I'd say, this block,
Yep,
blocking, sorry,
absolutely.
freezing a lot of pieces, and that's what he does. Okay, now expect knight f5 or knight takes c6,
Hmm.
winning a pawn, and this king is gonna have to move probably to f8, and then if you go knight f5, knight e6, all looks unpleasant. We see king f8 quickly,
Rook f1.
king g8.
Now, I wouldn't want to trade that knight for the bishop, so it's coming to harass the rook, and I assume not to be traded for the bishop.
Yeah.
That's a nice check with the... Yeah, white has the freeze back, so they can now freeze. Perfect.
Ooh, and then take this bishop for free?
Yeah, because there's no way to get the bishop out.
Yeah. So, okay, knight b4, but he can also go a3 and simply pick up the knight, right?
Yeah, I think that works.
That's what I would do.
Oh, that's good, though, because now there's two attackers on D. Oh, he throws that in. Okay, okay. Well played.
Knight f5, king e. This looks losing. I mean, white can take here,
Yeah. Mm,
take the knight. I mean, black's position is just getting picked apart.
yeah, very tough for Dimitro.
Yeah.
By the way, Eye of the Tiger, who is white here, is, let me just double check this, is Luis Ignacio, who did very well last year, being the runner up, and has been gaining a lot of rating recently. I believe they are the world number 2 on the rankings at the moment.
Nice. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Ignacio also won our four-player championship, so he's definitely an expert in these variants.
Absolutely. And he's up on time as well, so looking very nice for white here.
Wow, rook f7.
Oh, it's the sandwich. Works even better if that's a queen, because that's mate, but this is also rather pretty.
Okay, very nice tactical pattern that I was not aware of. Curious though, like, you gotta be a little bit careful. Can black in a world meet? Okay, I feel like white is. He's got to be a bit careful, to be honest.
Yeah,
There's
rook
a lot some
a1 suddenly.
counterplay.
Okay, so they diffuse that because there's this check in the middle. There goes the bishop, I think. Oh, no. They are now out of freezes, so there's not going to be quite so many hard to calculate things. Just got to watch out for those jumps and the
Uh,
time pressure.
that's a
Oh,
free. All
might have been a
right,
mouse
so
slip, but
yeah, all right. So Ignacio takes the first win. Let's see what's going on in the other matches. Here we have Dragon against Jonas. Dragon up a knight, and let's see. In terms
yeah,
of
cleanly.
spells, it's pretty equal.
Yeah, that is a well-placed knight. I think Black's counterplay is going to be trying to get those rooks around that corner on g7 and attack the white king. The pawns are coming, though.
Mm-hmm. All right, so rook f5, maybe. Yeah, I was about to say king h1 or rook g1. Looks pretty typical. Okay, now king z4, g5. I don't know. Feels like Dragon is in control here.
Oh, tricky, tricky. Watch that jump.
Check. Oh, just goes for the fork. Also very good.
That works. Although, can Black can trade with the jump, and he does it. So he loses a jump there, but oh, resigns. Wow.
Yeah, a little bit surprising to me to just resign there. I mean, it's spell chess. Both players are around 10 seconds. That said, Dragon, he's an absolute beast
Mm-hmm.
in these variants. He's also a good normal chess player, so he can definitely hold his own in these time scrambles.
Absolutely. Here they go again with Yevgeny Miller on the white pieces. This is a very standard opening. This is the three minor pieces attack that I was mentioning has become a lot more popular recently and has been a real source of trouble for me. Yeah, there's some subtle theory here. We might see it. Ooh, I
Hmm.
think Bishop A6 is a little bit more theoretical because now there are ideas of castles and then jump at e6, taking the f7 pawn with the bishop. The knight comes to e5. Yeah, he's going for it. Let's see if black knows the tricks.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, knight c5. Okay, so he's inviting that trick that you mentioned. So, oh,
Oh, okay. Well, the bishop's now traded off, so that's nice for black. I think black's a
so
lot better now than they were before.
right. So black
Okay.
takes on a1, but white can recapture by jumping over the bishop. You
Queen's a
see the
little bit
players
out of
doing
play.
that. Yeah.
I think black is suddenly doing perfectly fine.
Before played, I would think knight e2, but yeah, there we have
Makes
it.
sense. Now black really has got to get those kingside minor pieces out into the game. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, here it comes.
Knight f6, logical move, developing the knight, hitting the pawn. Bishop f4, hitting the queen. Suppose queen. I would think b6, so that you kind of eye that queen, but he goes to b7.
On b6, there's bishop e3 harassing the queen.
Hmm. Right.
It's hard to say what's happening on b7 either, though. You can maybe try to push c6 and open the file eventually toward g2, but it's going to take some patience.
Yeah. Okay, bishop b7, logical move by dragon, keeping the option open to castle. Queen c1 by Jonas. Okay, so let's see. I mean, I still would think visually this looks better for white. He has the center. But black has the bishop here, and we've talked about that before. Like, bishops are very tricky in spell chess because they can jump over pieces.
Yeah, and the pair especially. There's a line I studied for last year's championship where I give the queen for two bishops in a jump, and it's very playable for the side with the bishops.
Oh, nice, nice. All right, so let's see. E5 played. Okay, where's he gonna go?
Maybe g4? Idea of eventually take on h2. Maybe that's too one move threat.
All right, so I'm sure the players are considering this line. Knight takes c4, takes knight d2, and then I suppose dragon is planning to go c5. Although I just realized that white's not even threatening to take. Anyway, queen e3 on the board.
Still
If
not
black
threatening to take.
takes, right? Yes, because if white takes twice, then black can jump over the c6 pawn, take the white queen, and you go c5 right away. Good move to try to activate those bishops.
Yeah, white I don't think should take that because I mean that would just be losing instantly. I think because the diagonal's a massive problem.
Yep. No, indeed, taking is extremely risky with that bishop eyeing. Yeah, like I said, I think you just lose the game right away because your queen and king are effectively skewered. And dragon can perhaps think of ideas in an ideal world to, like, let's say his queen is on c6, to take and go bishop c5. But this one on e4 also. And here we see this tactic that you talked about before. If you put all of your pieces in the same 3x3, then your opponent can freeze all of them.
Yeah, and there's very hard to create counterplay with only the rook free. Like whenever your opponent freezes something that isn't your king, you want to see if you can somehow maneuver an unfrozen piece around to give a check while they're on cooldown and get the mate. But here with just all the pieces stuck, it's don't see what to do.
Maybe
Although black
d1.
Yeah. Oh, black's going to follow up with g5, winning a bishop here, I think. I don't know how white stops that.
Oh, that's a nice idea. Yeah, he goes rook e1, freezes this block, but g5, nice idea.
And that has the
Creating
extra benefit of opening the g file for the rook, which is just going to be devastating.
Yeah.
I
Then
think
black has this
black's
rook on the g file and the queen on this long diagonal.
I'm not calling it yet, but I predict black's going to win this one. Yeah, here it comes.
Yep, the dragon is too strong. That's why we see him here every single month. G5 on the board, creating the double threat on the bishop and the queen. Jonas in trouble here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's take on d4. There's just no way to save the bishop, so far as I can tell. Can't even jump and takes. There's a bishop covering g5, which is a very fortunate occurrence for black.
Yeah.
Not to mention that there's rook threats in the future.
Mm-hmm. All right, 19 seconds for Jonas. Looking tough here. By the way, in the meantime, Kaspard is also down 2-0 against Patrick. Wow, we very well could see Kaspard leaving the tournament. Let's have a look perhaps at that game right here. He has to win 2 games in a row now. And
Yes, bring
Ben, look at
Tiger.
this. He sacrificed a pawn very early on. What do you make of that?
Let me see. Could we rewind it back a bit so I can get a little bit of memory of what happened here?
Right.
Okay.
So the
So
French.
this is all normal. Sometimes you'll take that knight. Yeah, this is interesting. I think the idea here is to play rook e1, harassing the king and trying to pin the minor piece in the middle.
Mhm.
Pawns are not that important in spell chess, and in fact, it can be very advantageous to have your pawns cleared because of that jump threat.
All right. So we
Did
see
he just win a
here
knight?
that, yeah, he won the knight. But it's tricky. Like queen b6, threatening the king. Okay, you cannot go to h1 because
No,
then
you've
you hang your
got to
king as well.
probably king
g2.
g2. If bishop e3, the queen could potentially jump, hitting the
Hmm.
other bishop. Oh, and there's
Right.
also just queen takes b2.
Yeah. All right. So I think king g2 here, and then does black have a good follow up there? Maybe just like knight f6 and play for compensation. He goes rook f2.
Okay. Yeah, that's a move which I missed. That does seem to solve the. Although now I think e5 is coming to break open the center. Although it is double
Hmm.
edged because white can put the queen, like you say. Or is that the player's arrows? That might be the player's arrows. Wow.
Wait, but what if takes?
Then the rook is coming in, and the queen will reroute via c7, I think.
Wait.
Although then bishop. Oh, ah. Yeah, there's going to be freeze issues, I think, because the queen is a little bit loose on d1. If king g2, freeze and rook takes, queen takes something threatening either white's queen or rook, winning at least a pawn and getting some tempo.
All right, so let's see what Gaspard is doing here. I would say, or I would think, that objectively white's winning, but it's always tricky in spell chess.
Yeah, now very fortunately for white, there is a bishop on e4 which spies the h1 square through the jump of the knight. But now coming into the g1 square via the file, freeze at e2 is a massive threat. I think
Hmm.
this is looking really good for black. I think I'd rather play the black pieces here.
Okay, so okay, 95 played. All right, so let's see what can black do here.
They'll definitely be calculating rook g1 with a freeze at e2. I don't know if it works, but that's definitely a candidate move. Because the queen won't be able to jump, it'll be frozen as well.
Okay, yeah, and yeah, um, yeah. Just pointing. I mean, I suppose when you say e2, you mean the block from like d3 to f1, right?
Oh yeah, sorry. When I the in the notation, this is sort of getting into the technical weeds a bit, I guess. In the notation, the at is the center where you've got to click, so it's the middle of the 3x3.
Yep.
Maybe I've been
Okay.
programming too long. Check.
Ooh, this is a very tough check to meet because if you block,
You just
you
lose
expose
instantly.
yourself to a jump. Yeah. King
Uh
e1,
oh.
rook
Freeze
g.
and rook e3 followed by queen e2.
Ooh. Oh wait. Okay, so you'd rather do that than rook g1
Yeah,
and
because
freeze.
then they align on the e file, and I don't think the king can get away. If rook takes e2, taking the queen on e2, then the rook just jumps the rook and takes the king. I don't think the king can get. Oh, he goes for this though. You could be right.
All right, rook g1. Okay, he
Oh, I
was
missed
thinking
that.
about right, and now all of a sudden, at least to me, it seems like white is winning. I mean, it feels like the attack is kind of
Oh
gone,
wow. Yeah, I
and now maybe
completely missed that bishop check in the middle. Wow.
right, and now maybe white can launch an attack on the black king.
Absolutely. Look at those open files, F and H. And
Hmm.
suddenly, Black's lack of light square bishop development is a big issue. Yeah, here come those files.
Queen h8 is a massive threat.
Hmm.
Let's see what Black's going to do here. This is looking tough. And 6 seconds.
Oh, a jump
Wait, Queen h8
sacrifice. But yeah, now you can
is,
do that because
yeah,
the
because you're on
cooldown.
cooldown. Knight she, yeah, this is over. Oh,
Oh, but
castle's out of it.
Black was also on cooldown. That makes it tough.
Maybe
But
a4 and freeze on d7.
counter freeze is just winning, right? Yeah, freeze there, and then they won't be able to jump. Isn't it over? It's over.
He's allowing queen
It's
e2.
over.
Oh wait, Kaju. Right. Yeah. Great find there. Rook f8. Very interesting here. White is practically in checkmate with the queen in front of their king. But look at this. White activated their jump spell to jump the rook on d8 and take the king on c8. Great comeback from Gaspard.
Very good. And fun fact, actually, the only legal move there was to win the game because you'd otherwise be in checkmate.
Yeah.
See, the only thing you can do is take the king.
Mm-hmm.
All
All
right,
right. So
Gaspar
let's
making
see.
his last stand to
Okay,
win.
bishop takes f7, nice idea. And he has that idea that you mentioned earlier with queen h5 coming next, because then you cannot take the bishop, and you can take here. However, I guess after queen h5, black still has king d8, and if you
Yeah,
take that rook, then black can recapture, right?
right. There are. I think I looked at a line with jump at d2, bishop g5, pinning the queen to the king, but then it's just total chaos, and I forget which side comes out ahead. There's a million trades with jumps and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I very much suspect that Gaspar Orvier has studied this because he has been doing some studying. So if he's played into
Mm-hmm.
this, I bet he knows the answer.
Right. But when we have a look around the horn, we see that Nat Minto is up 2-0 against Evgeny Miller, so he's in great shape to reach the winner's final. Luis Ignacio has already reached the winner's final, so he will be waiting for his opponent right there. In the losers round one, we see this match right here. Patrick up 2-1 against Gaspard, so Gaspard has to win this one with black pieces. And Sorana against Jasha are tied 1-1, so there is still all to play for in that match. And the loser will already be eliminated, so we'll see who's gonna survive in that one. Oh, wow, look at that.
Okay, this is the line. And
Oh,
I still
wait,
don't, I do not remember who comes out on top here, but this is theory.
wait, it is? I guess now you have to take the knight, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's do a material count. White is up an exchange and a pawn for a
A
jump
jump.
spell. I would think this should favor white, but not over.
No, those double bishops, if black can get untangled soon enough, those double bishops with a jump are going to be monstrous.
Yeah. Okay, knight e3 played.
Black very happy here that white is out of jumps because otherwise the king is highly dicey.
Yeah. Now, I suppose an idea you have, but I don't think it's good, is rook takes a3, jumping the a7 pawn. White recaptures, you take here, and then take the rook, and you win a piece in the process. But your knight and
It's
a1 will
stuck.
be stuck, so probably that's why he's not going for it, right?
Yeah, I think I would rather play with the rook and the bishop pair using that jump. Because it can be miserable when your opponent has a jump and you don't. They're just chasing your king everywhere, and it's very hard to hide.
Yeah. Let's see how he will try to put his pieces to work. He also has a time advantage. So very tricky. By the way, Sorana is down 2-1 now, so he has to come back to stay in the tournament. And also, by the way, Nadminto also reached the winner's final. And he's going to be facing off against Luis Ignacio. So that's going to be a nice matchup.
That's going to be intense. Those are both runners up in previous years, super strong players.
Yep. All right, let's see if Gaspard can stay in the tournament. I mean, if he loses this one, it's all over.
It is indeed all over. What is he going to do here? Okay, starting with the rook. It's hard to bring the rook round. I might have tried to untangle the bishop first, but
Okay, if I had to take a guess, I think he wants to follow with king to d8. Okay, knight
makes sense.
h4. trying to jump in, or I think he's actually
Yeah,
trying to
that's
go
the one.
knight g6 and go after that bishop to trade off. Because with every trade, black loses the value of their jump spell. Wait, even now
Exactly.
knight g6.
Yeah, knight g6 is just really good for white here because the bishop can't get away. Unless you spend the jump, in which case this entire operation is sort of pointless regarding the jumps.
And if I was playing with white here, I would follow with rook to h8, because then you don't even trade off the bishop, you trade off the rook as well in case black goes bishop e7.
Wow.
So looks like Gaspard is in trouble here. I mean, he's really down a lot of material. An exchange in two pawns, rook h8 to me looks great because, I mean, you can take, but I can just recapture and then you've lost your jump, and there we have it on the board.
Yeah, wow, there's some grandmaster level play there. I did not see that.
Well, like you said, the title players, they learn fast. So let's see. I mean, this looks losing to me for black.
Yeah, I don't know how you get away. So after the trade of things, wait, didn't he just win a? No, it is just a trade takes with the rook, right?
Right. Yeah, but I suppose, aha, wow, he takes there. But a big shout out to Dragon, who's now in our chat. Good to see you. Congratulations on reaching the winners final and guaranteeing at least third place. That is, yeah, Dragon really, you know, showing that he is an expert in pretty much every single variant there is.
Absolutely, very impressive. Where is White's follow up here? I don't know that. No, there doesn't seem to be one.
Yeah, but just trade and like d3, king d2. As long as you keep your king on a dark square, I think you're super safe here with white.
Agreed. Yeah, the bishop, a single bishop is nowhere near as good in spell chess as the bishop pair. Because, like you said, the king just stays away and the jump does very little.
Yeah. All right, so unless a miracle happens here, I think Gaspard is gonna be leaving the tournament. I mean, this is just way too much.
Yeah, let's see. What would I be doing here? I think that is actually an interesting move, trying to crack open the king side and maybe come with the knight. Oh, I mean, there's so many pawns. I think maybe the best hope is to get rid of all the pawns and try for a 3 by 3 swindle.
Uh huh. All right.
But
Okay, we see bishop f7 hitting the knight. What do
much
we
easier
think
said
now?
than done.
D5 or just move it?
I think white wants to trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, what?
Oh, that is surprising to me. Sacrificing the knight on c4. I don't think that was necessary. Let's see how the
No,
game will
did he
develop
think he
now.
had a jump? If white had a jump, that would have been great. But suddenly black is back in it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, by the way, I wanted to tell everyone that Sarana is knocked out of the tournament. He lost 3-1 against Jasha, so unfortunately we say goodbye to the only Grandmaster in the field.
Fortunately, we
Um,
have another amazing grandmaster with us on the commentary.
Thank you, thank you. But yeah, let's see if Spell Chess Grandmaster Gaspard can stay in the tournament. I mean, we're in a full-on time scramble here.
Yeah, anything could happen here. So with this bishop and knight, this is a question I have of you as a real chess grandmaster. How do you maneuver these two pieces?
Right, so in a normal chess game, I'd say White's completely winning here because White has way too many pawns for the bishop and knight. It's actually really difficult. Kind of same as in spell chess. You kind of want there to be a rook as well. Interesting choice, by the way, to trade off the rook for the knight, but I think very practical because now same thing. If you keep your king on a dark square, you're always going to be safe. One thing, by the way, I wanted to ask you. Let's say the black king is on d4. Are you allowed to go king e3 and freeze that king to threaten the
Uh,
king slay? Is that a thing, or does that
that
just
is
count
a
as an illegal
great
move?
question, and no, it is not legal. There is a special rule that the kings may never be adjacent. Black's
Okay.
flagged, and I believe Gaspar Orvier is out.
Yeah, wow. What a shocker. One of the pre-tournament favorites is already leaving the field, but we're saying goodbye to him right now. And yeah, we see Dmitry Elin facing off against Patrick Sar and Evgeny Miller facing off against Josh Shaw. But these players still have a long road ahead to make it to the grand final. But, the good thing about double elimination is that they still have a chance.
They do. They will have to get through, I think, four. They'll have to win four more matches. This next one, the losers final or semifinal, losers final, and then the grand final and reset.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So also everyone, Chess.com just dropped the monthly bot challenges. Right now, you can earn points just by playing to permanently unlock custom nature-themed boards, piece sets, and profile flares. Hurry up once the month ends. These rewards are locked away in the vault forever. Type !unlock in chat right now to challenge the bots and secure your limited edition rewards before they are gone. Everyone, make sure to check that out. But before that, we are going to a break. So see you all very soon.
Yeah, I don't think like these are the exact first openings that I was told, like the opening class, but at least one of the very first that I still remember. Sorry, but one of them is like b4, e5, take, bishop c5, at f3, d6, ud, knight e7. If white doesn't fall in the trap, it's just bad for black. But if it's taken, then take, and you win the queen. But the thing with this is like at amateur level, black can still lose because it's not like black has a queen, but white still has two pieces and some compensation. So this is one, and I think the other is a bit better because it's more sound. So d4, knight f6, d4, e6, knight d3, d5, take, bishop g5, and here you go knight bd7. If white thinks black lands with this tactic, then point is take. There is this intermediate move, bishop b4, and now queen d2 is false, and after take king d8. It's black who is a piece of.
Does an own goal count? Hey guys, new plan. If I make this shot, we're gonna launch a no ads plan. Hey guys, last try. If I make this bullseye, we're launching the no ads plan. No more questions. I did it! I made the bullseye! Do it! Launch the no ads plan!
Love chess but don't like ads? Sign up for Chess.com's no ads plan and play chess ad-free.
Hello guys, I'm playing here against my chessbot and here is my secret weapon. Let's go. Okay, I'm MLS striker and Serbian national team member Dan Jovic. Let's play. So we have white. That's good.
E4 AM?
E4, of course. Let's see.
Sicilian? Oh, it's like I was playing with black.
I'm not playing.
But this might be a separate video and they actually don't know that, so.
Let's see. I didn't expect this move by myself.
Wow.
But there is one good thing. I cannot lose.
Maybe you draw.
So, yeah. I mean, Dan is winning anyway, so.
Okay, I don't have to help so far.
Is this you playing? Oh my god, what is this move?
We sure we want to do this video? After this move? This is how bad they think you are?
Let's see d4, huh? Yeah, this move makes no sense. But you need to be careful. Okay, I'm gonna just develop my pieces.
Yeah, I think black is like already lost. Almost by force. I mean, you can obviously just develop, but I think this setup looks...
Yeah, knight e5.
Bishop c4, knight. I think knight e5 is probably the best one.
Knight d5. Knight, to jump to attack the queen.
Yeah.
But he's gonna take here. Okay.
Yeah. I think taking on c to the knight is probably fine, right? Or what were you thinking?
Okay, I like. And he needs to move, I need to move the queen. Yeah, bishops.
I thought bishop c4 just like wins, but I guess there's a check.
Yeah, then you check, I block.
Computers play really strange.
We are attacking here.
Oh, you're gonna, okay.
We are not scared of this guy.
You can solve a Rubik's Cube in,
Yeah.
39 seconds.
Yeah. That's my record. 39 seconds.
Is that more impressive than your chess?
No. We just learn few moves and it's easier. So I think we should take on f7 and then play queen f3. What do you think about that?
I agree with the first part. I don't know if I agree with the second part.
Okay, let's see. Do we have something better?
I would just play like rook f1.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I don't know if I'm right. I don't know.
I think you're right because we are attacking here. We can sacrifice the pawn on h2 and then keep the queens on the board.
Yeah. What if you lose? It's not my fault.
It's gonna be your fault. As you said,
I said, well, hold on. What about bishop h3? Is that a problem? Actually, it could.
That's the problem.
It could be a problem.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Chess.com Spell Chess Championship. We are now going to be having a look at the winners final and losers quarterfinals. Ben, looking at the winners final, we have Nut Minto against Luis Ignacio. Who is your favorite in that one? Let's. Here we have first of all the losers bracket. Let's talk about that real quick. We have Dimitri Elin against Patrick Saar, and then Yevgeny Miller against Yash. Who are your favorites in these matchups?
Well, let's see. It's tough in the lower pairing to say, especially because we have candidate master Yevgeny Miller, very good at regular chess, versus Yasha, aka Zachar99, very strong spell chess player. I think Zachar, aka Yasha, might have the edge there, having played so many more games. At the top one, I don't know, Patrick Shar has been very good. He might have the edge, but we will see.
Mm-hmm. And here, as we zoom out, we see how much longer the road is through the losers bracket. We see at the top, we see the winners final between Nat Minto and Luis Ignacio. The winner of that one will already reach the grand final. In that one, I mean, I'm inclined to say Nat Minto is the favorite. I mean, he's always good in these variants. What do you think?
He is very good, and he has the real chess experience, being an international master. But I have the Tiger, aka Luis Ignacio, also very good in many variants, is the world #2 rated in spell chess now. So by rating, might have the edge, but going to be really tough, really interesting. Oh, and here we have Zachar99, who is potentially about to execute the jump at e6 and take on f7 attack. Oh,
wow.
Okay, there's another one.
Okay, I guess if you take the bishop, white will take the rook on a8, right?
Yes, and if black tries to prevent that with either queen b7 or bishop b7, then it is really, really time for the jump and takes because of that rook on f1, which is going to be a real monster after knight e5. Wow, black has gone into this.
Oh, we see he takes on c2, freezing that queen on d1. I guess a pretty safe move now. Although, wait, if you take the knight on b8, will you be in time to jump the bishop on c8 and take the king, or is it too late?
Over, I think, because freeze at d7, rook takes knight. Black has no counter freeze. I think, isn't this mate in 2?
Oh, wow. So
I think that's it, unless I'm...
Wait, and the jump will come back in time, you're saying, yeah?
Will it? That's a question. It might not have. I did not check that.
Right.
This is a good move as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't come back in time, so you were right. Yeah.
Wait, but can he do it now? Take on b8 and freeze on... Or no, wait, he just used this freeze.
Black would promote to a queen, threatening a jump on white as well, along the back rank, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But now that is a big threat, because the queen will come to support the rook as the follow-up to the freeze. So black is still very much in trouble. That rook and queen combo is going to be tough. And there will be 2 dimensions along which the king is attacked. There's the diagonal from b5 to the king and the rook on the back rank. When your king's frozen and attacked from 2 directions, it's usually curtains.
Mm-hmm. All right, so queen b7 hitting the rook and defending the b5 pawn. Let's see what Zachar is going to do here. I mean, if he takes black's just going to recapture. So
And if he tries to
interesting.
freeze...
What about this? What about just taking on c2?
Giving the rook.
Right, I mean, yeah, if you take on c8, that just gives up the rook, yeah? Because black can jump.
Playing it safe, you couldn't simply freeze at d7 and take as the queen, and if you freeze the queen, the king steps away. Then you might be able to take the queen if white... There's no counter freeze. So it's very, very tricky. But it seems white has decided to play it safe and just use that activity of the rook to try to create something going forward.
All right, so bishop d6 played. I mean, to me, it feels like white should be winning. I mean, he's up quite a bit of material. He goes e5, hitting the bishop on d6. Let's see what black is going to do about that. And yeah, we see better in terms of spells. Black is up one jump spell, right?
Yep. So they can cash that in some cases to get some material back.
Right.
Which can turn the game around at the right time. Black is probably wondering whether they can make something with a bishop takes h2 check. I don't think it works yet, because just knight takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but even though black is up a jump spell, I think it's very important for white that at least he keeps one jump spell. I mean, that's always going to be valuable. It's really important to keep that trick in your back so that you can always jump black at the right moment. All right, c5 here.
Suddenly, yeah, this freeze. Everything, look at that 3x3. And now,
nice move.
Queen g6 next. Attacking the king along 2 dimensions. And then king e7, queen takes g7, game over?
Nice. Yeah, let's see. He goes f5.
Smart. Yeah.
Stopping that. But now d5, yeah. You threaten mate and you threaten the queen. I think that's game over, right?
Yeah, the game doesn't literally end, but suddenly white is doing, amazingly well. Very nice save from black there. I thought it was literally over.
Yeah, nice save by Jonas to stay in the game, but looking pretty tough. He's down a queen for only a bishop. Let's see, white also having an advantage on the clock. Would you start trading here or not yet?
As white, I would trade the bishops. I don't know that I would do it for the knight, but it's hard to criticize that because you're up material. Why not trade? If I had the choice, I'd definitely go for the bishop because black does have that extra jump, which could be used to harass the king along the diagonals.
Right. King e8. Okay, you just want to make sure you don't want to allow bishop a7 at the wrong moment, but I think as long as you keep your spell on tap, you're always going to be safe. Knight g5 played. I wonder, what's the idea of that? In case of, h6.
Yeah, that I'm not so sure. You can't take on e6. It's not worth it. The rook's not even in place yet.
Yeah, doesn't he simply have to jump back now to f3?
I think so. You can't go to f7. You can't jump 2 things unless your opponent's jumped one of them for you.
Yeah.
I think the knight's just got it.
Yeah, he's paused the thing right now, which is, kind of signs that maybe he's just going to go back. And but he's getting low on time. He's winning on the board, but you don't want to get too low.
No, just play it safe. Pull the knight back and use that extra material, I would think.
Yep. I mean,
now, 2 seconds can be a lot of time, as long as you don't have to calculate and use spells.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I'd say in normal chess 3+2, you win this easily, but in spell chess, still tricky.
I think you can take there, right? Win a pawn? Yeah? And that's a fork as well. So forcing the trade.
Goes for it.
And now, without the bishop pair, I think black is very, very tough. Yeah, if you get the queen apart, a very nice technique there by white. Bring the rook with a freeze immediately. I don't think that would have quite worked because then you freeze both the rook and the queen. There's no follow-up. But now the queen and rook are so far apart that you do have a free hand.
Ooh, but look at this.
Oh, wait a second. It's a...
Wait, nobody can take the king.
Oh, you can take... Oh, I missed the diagonal. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah,
What a
queen
nice
e4,
finish, by the
very
way.
nice move.
Pins
Just showing
everywhere.
everybody right here. Like after queen d4, he's not only threatening to jump the rook and take the king. Oh, well. Anyway, we're moving on to the next game. Here we have the winners final between Dragon and Aya the Tiger. We see that Dragon has to be winning here. He's up a queen,
Yeah, that
but
pawn.
White actually has a rook and a bishop. That being said, this king is kind of weak as well. And
Oh, yeah, here come issues on the king side. There's also ideas of jumping in. Oh, okay, flags.
yeah, no,
Oh!
just
Yeah. Yeah,
gotta
couldn't do it.
yeah, no, the position was just too tough, given the fact that I think White was losing on the board and so long time. So let's see if Luis Ignacio can strike back here.
It looks like he's prepped some different openings here. This knight c3 move, and even e3 just to start with, is not common. By far, the most common move in top-level games is 1 e4. But this knight and queen setup, Dragon is definitely doing this for a reason. He knows something about the resulting positions.
Yep. Let's see, 6. Okay, let's see what Dragon has up his sleeve here.
You know, usually I find it a little bit unpleasant to have the knight on c3 as white here because it's pinned to the king. If you move it, the jump of the d pawn just hangs your king. So I wonder what he is going to do with that knight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, slightly surprising opening right here, but, you know, in spell chess, almost anything is playable. Knight g2. Let's see what Black is going to do here.
Now, a while ago, I might dispute that anything is playable, but having watched the qualifiers and having watched Dragon B70 in particular, he's recently started playing an interesting system with Queen F3, Bishop E2, Knight H3, which I had literally no one has played this against me in my entire life, and he's apparently doing quite well with it. So there are new ideas to be had in spell chess.
Bishop takes c6, interesting. Black with a counterspell. Can White? No, I think that bishop simply has to go. How would you take it here? Would you take it with the d pawn, b pawn, or with the knight?
Ooh, I want to get my bishop out in some way, so I think b takes and then bishop a3. But this also makes sense. You can push e4 in the future and go along the longer diagonal.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going for. All right, now with Black, b or d?
Well, apparently they're going to make the same choice. I still would have gone probably for b, but these guys do know something for sure.
E4, but a bishop g5, not a move on the next turn, because that would hang the bishop with a jump.
Yeah, and with 2 jumps remaining for black, it is, I think, worth taking it. If it was only 1, maybe not. That's tricky, by the way, as well. I can't take the knight because bishop jumps on.
Yep. All right, so let's see what White is going to do.
I see, trying to invade on the king side. It's actually not clear what black's going to do with that knight.
Yeah, now h3 looks like a nice idea here, hitting the knight. He goes h5. I think maybe he wants to do this.
Yeah, you might want to clear out your back rank a bit first to have more jump defense of the rook on h1.
Okay, he goes h4, maybe with the idea of f3, although it's always a little bit weakening to your king.
That's true. Now, h4, I don't immediately know the idea. Maybe they want to put the bishop on g5. They already had jump defense of it with the queen, but the queen does have more important things to do, a very powerful piece. So it might be meant to support a bishop there. And yes, here it goes.
Okay, bishop g5. Nice move, hitting the queen. Queen c5. Maybe now queenside castles could be considered.
Could be considered. Very suddenly nice to have double pawns in front of your king in spell chess due to the jump.
Yep. Okay, he goes for it. All right, so now this looks
Although,
This
wait,
doesn't
isn't there
look
a
easy for
fork?
black.
Knight takes f2?
Right, but I suppose white has something in mind.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
sure Dragon knows something here, but I would have to calculate that quite a bit before I played that. Maybe bishop e3 here, hitting the queen, saving the bishop.
and I suppose if black takes, I mean, that's really scary. You allow queen g6, you allow queen takes g7.
Yeah, if the
Let's
queen
see.
gets in, I think black is in real trouble.
Yeah,
Wow,
he
still
goes
allowing
f3.
fork. That's
Counter threat.
very interesting.
Let's see. By the way, in the meantime, we see Evgeny Miller is down 1-0 against Yasha, and Dmitry Yelin is 1-0 against Patrick Sar.
Okay, it makes sense that the variance specialist Yasha doing very well against the candidate master, but still quite a bit left to play there. Well, the fork is still not happening. Very interesting.
All right, so he goes e5, adding a bit of support to that knight and closing this diagonal for white's queen. We see the bishop drop all the way back to d2. He's, focused on taking this knight, and if the knight jumps, then, or if the knight moves, I should say, then you can take on g7. Queen c4. I like that move.
Yeah,
Getting the knight and the pawn.
that is nice. So it's sort of a little bit of a oh, okay. So now suddenly white needs to think, where is the counterplay? Black. Sorry, what am I even talking about? Black needs to find what to do. I think maybe knight f2 is potentially playable. Oh, beautiful. Because if it takes the queen, it's mate due to the freeze being on cooldown for white.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh,
so
but
white
they
goes
get the
rook
tempo
d8
back.
Okay, so in case black takes, you can take, and you'll be in time to. Wait, are you in time to freeze black back? I think
The
so,
freeze is
right?
going to be back on the next turn, so white will have made
Oh,
2 moves, or have they? Wait, can we back it up a bit?
okay. He takes.
Oh, so that was
think-
their second move. That was the second move without the freeze. The first was the jump, and then the second was queen takes, and so their freeze is back. The jump is not back, so the rook is going to go.
Okay, so some really interesting developments. We see that white is up a queen for. I mean, white is a queen and knight versus 2 rooks, which is a big material advantage. But it's not over yet.
Not over yet. Black does have a jump to complement those 2 rooks. Oh, well, not for long, potentially.
Bishop h6.
Ah, beautiful,
Yeah.
blocking the jump of the rook. And
Yeah,
found in such
no.
quick time as well.
All right, yeah, this is over. Black cannot defend against this invasion, but very safely puts the queen there. You're not going to hold this, I don't think, with seconds on the clock.
No, now, black does have 1 extra freeze, but with the activity of white's queen, there's going to be just counter freezes and checks all over the place. There goes a bishop. Yeah.
All right, so Dragon takes a 2-0 lead. Let's see if Ignacio can come back from that.
All right, does have the white pieces, which, oh, this is interesting. So this is bad for black, like really bad. If freeze at c7, bishop b5, he finds it. So the variant specialist knowledge is coming into play here. Dragon, of course, amazing chess player, talented international master, but Luis Ignacio is a variant specialist and has the theory. Now, queen e2 should be winning. Yeah, it's over.
Okay, so I suppose if you take, and that's just
King can't
over,
get away.
right?
Yeah.
And the other devastating threat is e takes d5,
Yep.
buying the king on the e file. So, yeah, this looks tough for Dragon.
Yeah, he's losing a queen at the very least. I don't recall if this is mate in some number, but the black is in massive trouble here.
You feel like black's only move is queen d7. Yeah, giving up the queen.
Oh, actually, that doesn't even help because ed5 and there's
King d8.
issues. Okay, so you do lose the queen, but the king survives. I think you
Right.
do have to do that because the king has no squares.
Yeah, so I think therefore queen d7 is forced as it's the only move that blocks this a4 e8 diagonal and gives your king another square. If you go, let's say, knight e7, I think this is going to be devastating. I don't see how you defend
You can't. That's
along
me.
the e file. So yeah, really surprising to see an expert like Dragon walk into such a trap.
Yeah, well, I did check the database for that actual position, and I found that he had played it with success, but he had never encountered such a strong variant specialist like Luis. And so, just without the variance knowledge, so many tricks in spell chess that you sort of can't know until you find them.
Yeah. Yeah, so Luis, he's in a double must-win situation, but it looks like this is going to be the first. Okay, so let's see. Queen e7 played. I would probably take on d5 first, and there we have it on the board, threatening checkmate on 1. Black has to go king d8, I think, and now
Yep.
you take the queen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or, yeah, you just take. Okay, so he's up a queen. Still has to convert, but obviously this is it's just a winning advantage.
Yeah, white just overwhelmingly winning here. King can't castle anymore. Very tough for black.
Yep.
And a huge
Well, this-
psychological victory, I think, for Luis.
Yep.
That prep paying off.
Mm-hmm.
So what to do as black here? You do still have 2 jumps, and you do have the bishop pair. So you can still very much try to be tricky, but you've got to develop fast. Put those bishops somewhere active.
Okay, 95 perhaps. Yep,
call.
there we have it. Turning this, bishop e6.
Freeze at e7, take, and then queen coming in. Winning a pawn,
Ooh,
at
yeah.
least. Because the queen will take the bishop. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dragon just resigns. Yeah, so pretty tough. I mean, that win was, in a way, kind of gifted to Ignacio. Can we say that?
Perhaps. Oh, no, this is interesting. I personally consider e5 scary to play. If you're going to go for this symmetrical bishop thing, I would suggest e6 to at least beginners, for sure. If a beginner plays e5, they're just going to get demolished. But
And why is that?
because of this bishop freeze attack and the knight tempo, so we get this sort of symmetrical situation. Black is probably going to play knight c6, and at lower levels, it's really hard to know what to do against knight takes b5. The queen is coming to b3, preventing castles. Yeah, so here I would definitely play queen b3. This is my prep against this system. Now, Eye of the Tiger, Luis, probably knows this. Well, we just saw his excellent spell chess prep. So he can play this safely, but beginners can just get into real trouble because it is legitimately quite scary.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that is the advantage of putting the pawn on e6, because then after queen b3 you can castle, because your king has the pawns on e6 and f7 in front of them. All right. So d5 played. Okay. So what do we think now? Should white take, continue their development? What is this still theory? And in that case, what is the follow-up here for white?
If it is theory, I don't remember what the move is. My first move to be evaluated, and I don't know off the top of my head whether it's good, would be to freeze at d7 and knight c7 check, hitting the king and maybe try to come with queen h5.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'd say a pretty logical, safe move to just get out of the center with kingside castles. And
Yeah,
now
I think black's better now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't mind his position at all for black. Black may be down a pawn, but it's quite irrelevant. And black definitely has some attacking prospects towards that white king.
Although a lot of people in the spell chess community do advocate e5 at their high levels, because it does provide some real chaos where black can sort of get more initiative than is usually afforded. Often you just get sort of squeezed as black and have to be patient, which can be unpleasant. But both sides walking a knife's edge for sure.
Yeah, all right, so knight c7, Dragon going after the rook on a8. Maybe now Eye of the Tiger just has to go like knight c6, give the rook, take on b4, and go for a big attack on white's king.
I guess, yeah, that seemed like an important rook. But the knight was active, so... But the trouble is that Black's jump advantage is quickly becoming less powerful with the fall of that rook. Only one rook and a bishop.
Bishop g5 by Dragon, hitting that rook.
Very patient, very precise.
That rook doesn't have a great square. It cannot move to e8. So he goes rook b8, saving the other rook. I think now he should just go ahead and take. And he does. I guess
Agreed.
Black has to recapture. And then, do we take on d5?
Yeah, might as well. I don't see any reason not to. I guess the rook can maybe try to exploit the d file. Does white have castling rights? I think they do. After long castles, maybe not long castles actually, because suddenly the rook is active on the c file, but rook d1 could try something.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. I had a Tiger taking his time here. Is there an alternative to knight takes e8? Wow, he goes knight d4.
Oh, using the
on the
two
attack.
knights of the double fork threat.
Okay, by the way, we saw the white arrow there. That was Dragon. He was looking at queenside castles. What do you think of that move?
Well, now that the knight has come here, that it seems very, very scary. Wow, because there's a fork, right? And also freeze ideas.
All right,
Well, I
so
guess the
let's
other
see.
knight is hanging, and maybe the other knight gets stuck, so you end up getting two knights for it? Is that the idea?
I don't know.
Okay, he keeps it
Wait,
simple.
what?
Keeping it simple, saving the piece.
But how is this a move? He's just on a full rook now. Maybe just bishop h4?
Well, he's still threatening to trap the h1 rook and to take... Oh, very good. Yes, bishop h4 I missed, because that saves the bishop and defends f2. Well played.
Yeah,
Grandmaster
Dragon
move
finds
right
it.
there.
Yeah, all right. So let's see what Eye of the Tiger is going to do right here. To me, this looks winning for Dragon. He's up a full rook, and I don't think Black's attack is that devastating.
No, very tough. I don't know if Black should trade here, being down material.
Yeah, we saw Dragon pointing out king to b1. Okay, Black comes through with the freeze. Maybe
Okay, this
knight.
is something.
If I were
But that is-
white here, I would go knight e7 and freeze this knight. But hey, what do I know?
I think you know a lot, because that seems like a pretty good move to me.
Oh, thank you.
Now, the troubles aren't over, because there's the activity of the knight could come back for another freeze. There's also the rook on b8, which could maybe end up, dance the knight around, take on b2 with the support of the rook. It's not over.
Right. Yeah, but another idea that I just noticed with the rook on b8. He goes knight c3. He wants to take the knight. Nice move.
Okay,
Stepping to the... I was just going to say, if you would step to the b file, then Black might have had ideas of, let's say, knight c3, and you cannot take because that would hang your king. So we see the trade. That has to be in Dragon's favor, right?
Yep. I thought there might have been knight takes f2 there.
Okay, rook c8, very tricky move.
Good activity by Black. The follow-up is maybe to win an exchange back. Bishop b3, I think, and you get the exchange, right?
Yeah. Okay, so e6 with the counter freeze. Now I suppose Black can also throw knight takes f2, and he goes for it. King d2.
Yeah, might as well pick up a
Suppose
pawn
move.
with your exchange, right?
You take here or take one of the rooks. I like the idea of keeping the knight on the board, especially since we're in a time scramble.
Oh yeah, knight's very tricky. Never resign when you have a knight. Oh, well, you might not have a knight anymore. What is...
Yeah, I had a tiger is low on time, so some mistakes are happening.
Could have been a trick, though, to lure the king out. Luis Ignacio, very, very good at spell chess, could well have a tricky plan here. That king is very dicey, and with those jumps...
I personally would not have moved to e5. I would have just tucked that king in. Okay, very wise to trade there. Now this has to be a pretty easy win, I'd say, for Dragon.
Yeah, those jumps are totally useless. Well, not totally. The bishop can jump, but with a single bishop, really hard to make anything out of them. Could try. It's getting a little bit sparse. There is hope for a 3x3 swindle, so definitely play on. Just got to get those pawns off the board.
Yeah. But I think Dragon is too experienced both in normal chess and in variants to let this one slip. He's up a rook and a knight.
Getting sparse.
Wait, so now he wants to get rid of the bishop as well?
Oh, no, now black is just done for. Yeah.
And by the way, I should also point out that a stalemate swindle would also not save black, because he's down 2-1 in the match.
Oh, good point. Yes. It would have been a lot funnier to get a stalemate swindle, though.
Yeah, true. All right, so Nadminto moves on to the grand final. We see Yash moves on to the loser semis, and here we see Dimitro, who's in great shape to reach the losers semis as well. I think that's over, no?
Yeah, there goes the bishop, and let's see, what's the spell situation? Even freezes, just about 3x3. Well, okay, not anymore because they're going to trade the last freezes, but now it's normal chess and, well, modulo this jump, and it's over.
Yep, it's over. Black doesn't have any tricks, any spells up his sleeve anymore. So, and Dimitri only needs a draw here, so it's actually literally over, because even if he runs into a stalemate, he wins the match anyway.
And there it is. Resignation.
All right, okay. So this round is in the books. We see that Nadminto moves on to the grand final. Let's have a look at our bracket. We can pull that. Yep, here we have it. All right, so here we see Nadminto moving on to the grand final. And we see Luis Ignacio. He is in the loser.
That's a great question. So all the top spell chess players are going to have some amount of theory. I did mention that Dragon B70 has been doing some new stuff, but the community members have definitely developed theory, and, well, they do have, a range of repertoire. There is a finite number of moves that you see in the opening. Although I will say that Dimitro has been picking up some interesting new ideas, including the system I mentioned from Dragon B70 with the knight on a6. So, and with this event, they're going to be preparing for this. This is the biggest spell chess event of the year. So if they've got new tricks, they will be pulling them out today.
All right, and we are off. Okay, so bishop e5 by Zacher, threatening the king on e8. I have also seen players going king to e7, but I would assume that is too much.
Well, it depends, and that is a great question. In this system with e5, king e7 is bad. However, if you play e6, I think you can get away with it. And the idea is that you're winning the freeze by sidestepping without counter freezing. And the pawns you trust are going to shield you from white's lead in development. And in the long term, you'll have an extra freeze, and you might be able to use that in the endgame to freeze when your opponent cannot counter, causing an instant checkmate.
Yeah. All right, so we see white going pawn to d4. What is his idea in case black takes?
Queen, okay, yes, he's played it. Getting that open file for the queen. Now the freeze and pushing the pawn I don't think works, because the bishop and queen are pretty spread out, as well as the king and dark square bishop.
Okay, so what about knight e7 here? Is that a move?
Knight e7 is a move. I think queen e7 is a little more theoretical, if I remember right. And sometimes you'll see a... Whoa, that I do not remember seeing. That is interesting.
Queen of 6 here, I would suppose?
I don't know if that... It might work. The thing you have to be careful of is the freeze.
Wait, actually, to me that looks kind of losing, because maybe white takes, freezes on g7, and he can follow with bishop h6.
But then the queen takes, although you win the queen with the rook at the end, so I think, yeah, that seems bad for black.
Okay, so maybe knight f6 then?
Then you do have to calculate the jump and sort of scholar's mate. I don't think it works because there's so many pieces on the queen side that can interpose with a jump. So, sorry, I'm sort of eliding over a whole lot of theory there. The thing that would happen if knight there and queen jumps the knight and takes on f7, Blackwood has to freeze because otherwise it's checkmate. And they could take the queen while the bishop is frozen. Oh, we might see the very scary.
Wait, but what if we take and freeze on g7? To me, that looks pretty good for white.
It does to me too, but he spent a minute thinking, so he probably knows something I don't.
The only move you might have is maybe bishop e4 with the counter freeze. But then you lose the
but
bishop.
then you lose the bishop.
But queen takes f6 looks very promising to me and freeze on g7.
Yeah, absolutely. I was also thinking briefly, what if you freeze g7 and instead use bishop h6? Because then the queen can't move, you'll take the queen. But like you say, bishop b4 is a resource there, losing it. Bishop instead of the entire queen. So now I think black has to do it.
Takes on c3. Wow, but now bishop h6 looks great, no?
Yeah,
and he goes for it.
That's over, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the only move I see to not lose the game on the spot is king e8, but then bishop takes f7.
Or queen takes.
Or
and bishop back to g5, and it's probably mate in 4.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you're down. Oh, yeah, and that's by the way what Zachar is pointing out. I mean, at the very, you're just down a queen, even if you don't get checkmated in the next move or two. So looks like Dimitro is going down here.
Wow. Yeah, he resigns.
He resigns.
Okay. Well, he does still have 2 whites, I think, so plenty of opportunity to pull out his aggressive tricks. This, by the way, is new. E5 is not a very common move in the database, but has been becoming a little bit more topical recently.
Yeah, no, this is known in normal chess as the accelerated advanced Caro-Kann. No, I'm just kidding. Normally e5 is not really a move. Okay, bishop before check. Wait, this one looks tough. How
this
do you
looks
deal
really
with this
scary. Isn't queen h4 coming?
Maybe king e2 is forced.
Well, no, that doesn't work because queen e4 and you're mated.
No, but like king e2 right here.
Well, you can't play an egg first.
Sorry, you can't. Okay, wait. So then I think maybe you have to go g3 and.
But still queen h4 and then queen e4.
Oh yeah. No,
So
I remember from the little bit of spell chess I played that is a very nasty combination. Yeah, the bishop e4 and queen h4 to e4.
Yeah, usually you never want to allow this this bishop check in the opening, the direct bishop check at least, because you can't interpose. You just hang your king to the jump. And if you don't have a flight score on f1, it's possible that there was some theory confusion here. There are lines where you can develop the light score bishop as white and allow this. And even though black thinks, aha, I'm bringing my pieces to attack, there's really no follow-up after king f1. But here, king is just stuck, right?
Yeah, I don't see how he's getting out of this. And indeed, if the king is forced to step up to e2, I think this queen h4 to e4 maneuver looks crushing. So Dimitri is paused to think here. Really, wait, he is already down 1-0. If he loses this one, he'll be really pushed with his back to
the wall. Yeah. It does seem like he might have been surprised by this, maybe meant to move order this. Oh, okay, that's effectively resignation because the king hangs to the jump, given there's no counter.
Yeah.
Right. I think that was mate in 3 or something.
Yeah, so really surprising there to me by Dimitro. I mean, from the times I've played spell chess, I would always make sure that my king is safe, and perhaps he forgot about that a little bit. Maybe he went a little over-aggressive, thinking like, hey, I need to strike back, and forgot about his own safety.
Yeah, and that's definitely happened to me. Of course, I didn't win last year, therefore I lost a couple. And when your back's against the wall, and especially when you've already lost one, just say, gotta go crazy and do something. But I just collapse sometimes when you get into that mindset.
All right, so they're repeating the same opening. All right, so is taking bad altogether, or is it a move? I mean, to me, taking knight e7 didn't look that bad.
Um, I think that's okay. Don't remember for sure, but I think it might be more theoretical to play d5 here.
Uh-huh. But then, in case of takes, does black take on d1 to give up the jump, or does he allow
Sometimes
it to
they
take
do,
on...
which is sort of surprising to me. But I guess the
Okay.
sort of jumbling of the back rank is apparently worth it, and people do go for that.
Okay, interesting. Dimitri has paused to think again. I mean, he's down 2-0 in the match. He's down a minute on the clock here. So he's in a tough situation. By the way, we have a question from Alakai. So after queen e2, knight e7 is... Oh, yes, was bishop takes f7, an idea, bishop g5. Ooh, that's a nice one. You cannot take that. Wait, are you in trouble?
No, you just trade the queens with the jump. You do lose a jump, but this is the sort of pattern is theoretical, even if this move order isn't.
Okay, all right. So we see that white is down a pawn, but he has a lead in development, and he has an extra jump, so looks like great compensation to me.
Yep, absolutely. So as black, you probably don't want to take on c3 because that just helps the knight get developed. At the right moment, you might be able to push. On the other hand, you might just be losing the pawn anyway.
By the way, one of our moderators, Ben, is pointing out that the king has a sweet mustache. I mean, do you... Yeah, that kind of looks like a mustache. What do you think, Ben?
Oh, I never noticed that. Got a sort of Rorschach test going on here.
Nice, I like it. I mean, yeah, also look at these knights, by the way. They kind of look like... What do you call these? Maybe they kind of look like boars?
Pawns?
Or, yeah. That... These bishops, by the way, have a really nice little beard going on.
Oh, that is
Right?
true. This bishop seems to have to drop back to g3. Hard to say what it's going to be doing from there. I guess it defends the f2 pawn, which is pressured a bit by a black's bishop on c5.
Wait, by the way, this show is really run by the Bens because, you know, you're Ben, I'm Ben, and we have two mods here who are also named Ben. So,
Let's go.
Yep, it's all about the Benjamins, as Ben Feingold likes to say.
Yes, perfect.
Yep.
Okay, blocking the knight from coming into b4. Now, in normal chess, knight a6, knights on the rim are dim, right? But in spell chess, developing the knight via the edge of the board is a fairly common idea and not really a problem necessarily.
All right, okay. But black making some inroads on the queen side. What do you think of that?
Yeah, white has committed to castling queenside. Black's going to have to... Oh, that's interesting because that is an open file, or about to be.
Yeah. Oh, but this bishop on g3, very important, stopping that rook.
Oh, yeah, I
moving
missed
to
that
that square.
actually. Sniper bishop.
Yeah.
So black might want to play d6 at some point, he says without calculating.
Yeah. I think could be well worth the sacrifice because then you can get your rook to b8.
Oh, the pawn has... Yeah, whenever you can do a freeze of the king with a pawn, it's pretty much always worth it because nothing is less valuable than a pawn, right? So you're very likely to get a good follow-up.
All right, so let's see. He goes a5. Maybe he has the idea to go bishop a6 as well, or push up that pawn even further. I think for white, at some point you want to go like rook e1, knight e4, and try to blast open that center somehow.
Yep, and very fortunately for white, that bishop on a2 is preventing black from escaping to relative safety on the king side.
Yeah, look at these two bishops, really putting some pressure on black's position.
Yeah, beautiful
Now,
bishops.
I think for black, he probably has taken a5, and let's say queenside castles after, but he goes bishop d3. Do you sack here?
Oh, I don't know if that bishop is... Okay, he does. Oh, I missed this follow-up. This might make it worth it. Because I think you might be winning a rook, at least with a jump. Bishop e5, and then jump and take the corner rook, but then rook jumps and takes.
Right. Yeah, both rooks do defend each other. You can also, by the way, do it with the... wow,
this is
look
also
at
a
that.
move. Yeah.
Oh, and look at this. After takes... Oh, knight f7. That's a nasty move.
Very nice. Bringing in the knight, defending, winning the rook. I thought he was only getting a pawn out of that.
Okay,
Wow.
I think he has to take the rook, and he does. Yep. Okay, so white up a piece, black also super low on time, by the way.
Oh man, 8 seconds.
Yeah, and by the way, white is up a jump spell. 3 spells are equal, but white up a
With the
jump spell.
double
And with
bishop.
the 2 bishops, yeah, that's
Wow.
can be deadly.
White's knight is kind of sidelined, but probably going to just use those bishops. Maybe get the... It's scary to get the king in because of the freezes. But white's advantage there is that the bishops are long range and they can kind of run away from the knights if they're trying to use that as follow-up.
Okay, I would definitely bring that knight back at some point.
Agree.
Look, these knights are jumping around. That's a little bit annoying given the fact that black still has a few free spells.
Definitely. Oh, there goes another pawn, right? Is there a reason that pawn can't be taken? Oh, this might be better.
Yeah.
The bishop runs away.
Okay,
we get a
just
trade.
trades
Just
off.
good for white. We are entering 3x3 territory.
Yeah. That said, white is up 2-0 in the match, so even a draw is not going to save black.
Yeah, there's even checkmate swindles as well. If all their pieces are in a 3x3 and you give a check with freeze. I've actually won a game with a single bishop. My opponent had queen and some pawns and stuff. Ooh. Maybe pressing him on the clock here. It's hard to calculate what to do about freezes when you're so low on time, especially because you've got to click the counter freeze yourself. Yeah, he's got the piece.
No, this is over, and Zach actually, or sorry, Dimitro resigned. So that means that Yash is going to move on to the losers finals.
Congratulations to Yash Shah.
Yeah, great match by him. He won 3-0, pretty convincing. So it's going to be interesting to see him face off against Luis. And we're talking about that. Let's have a look at our bracket. We see it right here. Not Minto. He's waiting in the grand final. He still has 2 lives. But now it's going to be Luis Ignacio against Yash to determine who is going to be his opponent. But before all of that, we are going on a break. But before we do so, let's talk about the Women's Speed Chess Championship. The Women's Speed Chess Championship is heating up and the action resumes next week. Who will advance to the semifinals? Will it be the wonderkind Alice Lee or chess royalty Ju Wenjun? Watch the battle next Friday. Until then, use !WSCC in chat to catch up on results, news, and more. All right, let's go to the break.
We want you to show us a chess trap on the board that not everybody knows.
Okay.
There's not many that people don't really know.
First one that comes to mind is from my childhood. It's in e4, e5, but I hope I remember the correct moves. So white plays knight f3, knight c6, and black plays something like this, d6 after the Italian game. Knight c3, and I hope not everyone knows this. And now black can play this move bishop g4 and h3, and black goes here. And this is actually a big mistake, going back with the bishop here, because now white has this beautiful shot knight takes e5. And well, it looks like white is just losing the queen, right? But not so fast, because then white comes in with the bishop, gives a check on f7. Black king is forced upward, and white plays this beautiful knight d5 checkmate, and this is called Legal's mate. And I remember as a kid this left a big impression on me, so yeah. I mean, you have to have your opponent go bishop g4, but I think at the lower levels this is very common. The bishop is pinning the knight, and if not for this it wouldn't be that bad, but yeah, there's this little tactic, and it's really nice. Also, if we go back to this position, pawn is on f7, you would wonder like what happens, can black not at least take the knight here, but then white comes in with the queen. Seems like the bishop is hanging, but now the second part of the tactic is shown. Suddenly there's this check here, and white picks up the knight and only wins a pawn here, but still pretty good out of the opening, I think.
Are you tired of losing against strangers in chess? Donating ELO rating points to somebody you don't even know? Feels a lot better losing to a friend who could actually use those rating points and then thank you later. Sync your contacts and get started playing against people you already know in real life on Chess.com today.
Okay, this is the Grandmaster A to Z Challenge. There are more than 2,100 Grandmasters who have ever lived. Your job is to name one for each letter of the alphabet A through Z. You can do first or last name.
You, Ulf Anderson?
Want to skip it?
Yeah, okay, skip.
You? You? Unziger? Does it count?
Yeah, Wolfgang Unziger, yeah.
V. Vilmirich?
Vashela Graf.
Yeah, I will have myself one more. And yeah, Vidit also very good, yeah.
W. Walter Brown?
W.
Wei.
Unziger, one more time, it's Wolfgang, his first name. X. Bu Zhengji.
Has to be somebody name. Bu Xianji? No, that's Bu Xianji. X, Y, Yasser Servan?
Yannick Pelletier.
I'll go Z. Zanzai Abdumalik.
Zubov.
I give up. I give up. I'm too slow. My brain is not working fast enough.
No, okay, I'm very bad in this game. I resign. No, it was very hard game actually. I forgot every names really. I don't know.
Many, but okay, I just took too much time for the simple ones.
Yeah, it's tough. The only person that got X did Bu Zhengji, and the one that I thought of was Ji Jun, the women's.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. It's very weird that sometimes they're very obvious choices and my brain just went some completely different direction for no reason, but
you had to think of a specific country, which is Cuba.
Quesada. Oh, yes. They've got many players.
There's three Quesadas.
Yes.
A whole trio of Quesadas.
Wow, okay.
But 24 out of 26, an excellent score. Excellent job. Well, you're the first person to do it, so you have officially the time to beat. 2 minutes, 48 seconds by my count. That was very good.
Welcome back everyone to the Chess.com Spell Chess Championship. And now we're going to be having a look at the losers final. So Ben, it's going to be Luis Ignacio against Yasha. Who is your favorite in that one?
Oh, well, historically, Luis Ignacio, excellent variance, and the runner-up in last year's Spell Chess Championship. So if he repeats that performance,
but this looks winning to me for Black. He's up a piece. No problems for Black as far as I can see. So Zachar in great shape here to take the first game.
Agree. Going to be picking up an extra pawn at the very least here, I think. Right now he's spending time looking for a better follow-up, but even if it's only a pawn, I think he should be pretty happy. Yeah, and he does decide that pawn's good enough, and the knight advantage will potentially carry black through in a winning endgame.
Right. So, yeah, I was gonna ask, do you think? Okay, he didn't take the a pawn, but this should be a pretty comfortable win for black, right?
Yeah, I'm not immediately seeing counterplay for white. Although I do see this idea: rook f4 incoming to harass the king, and then maybe rook g1. And when there's two active rooks, it can be really tough. Your opponent gets a lot of tempo, can push you across the board. Counter freeze and rook b2. I'm not sure I see the follow up here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
he lost the knight. That's a pity. I mean, that knight was of course great to jump around and harass white, but now it's not over.
no, it's very much not over. Looking very even. Material count, pawn difference, I think. Oh, but that's doing
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he just resigns on the spot.
Danger of getting all your pieces too close together, because if you freeze them both, get a check, the other one can't run away. Wow.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that means that Zacher takes the first game. Let's see how Eye the Tiger, Luis Ignacio, will try to strike back with the black pieces.
Now here, the bishop jumping into f7 at some point, it's not an immediate. Whoa. Giving up a knight in hopes of a freeze attack. Wow, very bold. He must have prepared that. I do see both players seem to be playing faster now, probably having learned from the time scramble at the end of that last game.
Wait, so what happens here in case of e takes f6? Yeah, he goes for it.
Yeah, I don't... that's really sort of giving black an invitation to come to g8.
Yeah, I'm looking at this line. I'm curious what you think about it. So let's say I take that bishop, rook g8. I can go king h1, but what do you think about knight g5? And in case it takes, I go queen h5.
Ooh. Okay, so knight g5 takes queen h5, then rook g6, I would think, and then takes, and... Yeah, that's... Oh, wait, actually, can't the... Oh, okay, we might see it, and then I'll be able to see it a little bit more clearly. But imagine it takes... Step aside. I guess the thing is that black gets a move in the middle there.
Okay, he goes for the safe king h1. Okay, king d8 by black, sidestepping. Maybe an idea for black could potentially to go like b5, bishop b7, and c5, or...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they really want to try to get the queen around to pressure g2 as well.
Bishop f4 the freeze.
Wait, doesn't that lose to rook takes g2?
Why?
Oh, no, it doesn't, because the bishop can come back. And also the queen would hang with check, so never mind. Yeah, it's fine. I was worried that they would be mated by the rook on the cooldown. However, the bishop spies the h2 square, and there's a million heavy pieces on the back rank that could jump and take. Plus, it's check when white takes the bishop. So, all good for white.
Okay, so let's see how Eye the Tiger is going to meet this move. Looks tough. Maybe b5 and freeze g2? Or would you freeze e3?
Well, you've got to stop that bishop from taking your queen, I think. So e3 makes sense. This is sort of walking into a fork, which is interesting.
Oh, but I think he wants rook h5. But
very good.
But I don't know. To me, oh, great find taking the bishop on c4.
Yeah, this can be a gambit by white, especially because he gets, I think, an exchange here. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because giving a piece for a
is queen
jump,
e5 a move there?
queen e5 is a move. Got to counter freeze the bishop.
I would
Maybe
play it if I were
e5?
black and block this bishop.
Oh,
Black
wow.
has resigned?
Black resigned. With the reason that... Why?
Or was black missing a freeze or something?
Oh, was their freeze still on cooldown?
That's what I wonder about. Well,
I don't remember. But they saw something, that's for sure.
Yep. All right. Well, that means that Yash Shah right now has a 2-0 lead against Luis Ignacio. So he's only half a point away from reaching the grand final.
Here we're seeing the beginnings of the very novel system that I saw Dmitro Ilin as well as Dragon B70 playing recently. Queen C7, very, very theoretical move against many systems. The reason is that it spies the F7 pawn via the jump of D7. Yeah, here's the setup.
Yeah, so Queen C7, nice defensive move. Could be used in some attacking lines as well. In case white castles, you're eyeing that H2 pawn, can be without that knight on H3. That is actually a very tricky idea, because in case white recaptures, you're exposing yourself to the rook on H8. But perhaps therefore they put the knight on H3.
Yeah, there is a disadvantage to knight H3 though, although maybe less now that the queen's on C7, but if the queen could come to H4, suddenly the H-rook is not patrolling the edge file anymore. But I'm sure they definitely prepared this and they know that the queen getting there isn't a big threat. There are some lines where queen E5 is a move, but white has solved that with bishop E2 as well. So very nice prep from the very strong players here.
Yeah, so let's see what Eye of the Tiger is going to do. What do you think about D4? Or is that way too risky, as black will take and then freeze on F3, let's say?
Let's see.
Or,
Black takes...
Black will actually, freeze on E3, but yeah, go ahead.
Right, so immediately I want to see what is the follow-up. There. I think you have bishop F4 counter-attacking the black queen, or have I got the move order confused?
Okay.
I think that works, right?
Okay.
Because the queen and bishop are too far apart.
Yeah, it makes sense though that these thing on D5. All right, by the way, I forgot his name. I think it was Gaspard. He's saying in the chat, Fleeks, that is you. I don't know if you're looking at chat, but in last game, Queen E5 wasn't possible because white could have taken it. Oh, right. White could have taken that queen on D5 with a jump, jumping over the D2 pawn.
Oh, I forgot about the jump being ready. Okay, very good point.
But then, wasn't there was no move for black? Like, couldn't you play, let's say, B5 and freeze that bishop on G5?
Hard. I'm afraid I don't remember the position, to be honest.
All right. Well, let's see what's going on here. Okay. He's there. By the way, he's throwing that king on D1.
Yeah, that is a good freeze because there's no way to save the king without freeze. That is a good counter freeze as well. Rook takes H3.
Yeah.
Oh no, it doesn't work. That doesn't. Well, does it work?
Why would it not work?
I was wondering that it matters that there's a pawn on D2 preventing the king jump, but I think that's fine.
Yeah, no, okay, it takes on A2 instead. Interesting.
That is interesting.
Now here white has a choice. You can simply take the queen. I would think that is the best move, but you can also take that rook because the jump spell is on cooldown.
Yeah, and that was what I tried to say and totally failed, was that after rook takes H3, queen takes H3 because the jump threat isn't there anymore. So I totally fumbled that.
Yeah, but to me, rook takes H3 would have looked like the better move, because then you can take that queen on F3. But now...
No, the issue is that the queen takes the rook immediately.
Right, but then you move your queen.
Oh, I guess that is better than losing the queen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Black does have some good pressure on the back rank here, threatening to freeze at d2 and take on b1. But white has great counters in f7.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see, f6. Okay, but now I guess white can take on e6.
Yeah, if you try to jump in with the queen, I don't know if it works because you can freeze the knight and the... Oh, but no, the pawn could be frozen as well as the king, so that could have merited a little more evaluation. Don't know whether it would actually work, but that's the sort of thing that I'd be trying to calculate here.
Okay, rook e1, hitting or eyeing the queen on e8. King d8, I would expect.
Yeah, because it definitely can't go to f8. This is queen right there. In fact, I think that's the... Oh, there's also knight e7. Kind
Right.
of passive, though.
Yeah, so I would... Oh, wow. Look at that.
Wow, okay, what is the follow-up here?
And by the way, this all
follow-up
of a
is rook
sudden...
takes b1.
Yeah, this is all of a sudden very tricky for white.
That knight is a monster controlling c2, too. Yeah.
Okay, so I think now, yeah, taking around e2. It's game on all of a sudden. Unless... Well, I would think white is still just completely winning after bishop takes b1, right?
Well, rook takes queen? That is black's last jump, though.
Right, so if I was playing with white, I think I would take that bishop, allow the jump, and then just play that endgame. And black doesn't have a lot of spells left.
Very true.
Yeah. All right, well, it seems like Ignacio is fighting back here, so we're probably going to get a fourth game. I would go bishop a2.
Yeah,
or that, even better.
Yeah, wow, there's the counter freeze mate. Very dangerous to freeze when it's not a direct attack on the king.
All right, so it's now 2-1. Luis Ignacio, he was in a double must-win situation. Now he's in a must-win situation. He still needs to win this one with the black pieces to keep himself in the match.
And he is playing, we see here, the e6 flavor of the king's pawn response, which I think is safer than e5. You get most of the benefits with the piece development, but you don't have any issues along that light square diagonal.
Yep.
All very theoretical. Probably knight f6 is the best move here.
Uh-huh. We saw some games knight c6, but you're saying knight f6 is the better move?
At least in e5 systems it is. Yeah, knight c6 is also playable here because the knight can invade and create problems in white's c2 square.
All right. We, by the way, see Gaspard in the chat saying knight e7. What do you think about that move?
Knight e7 people play. It's in the database. I think the computer likes it as well, although I don't remember. To me, it seems a touch passive, but it has advantages as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so knight takes b5. Okay, keep in mind... Oh, wait, knight e6 is a threat. Because black can jump the d7 pawn, but then white can jump the d2 pawn and take the queen. So how do you deal with that?
I don't know if... I think king f1, king f8 is actually forced here. And I think this might still be theory, actually, because king f8 I do recognize. Then there's queen f3 coming, and then the knight. Now, instead of that, I would usually play d3, which activates the dark square bishop. Either that or queen f3. But this also makes some sense to target the king along the a3 diagonal.
All right, so queen f6 eyeing that rook on a1. What do you think about bishop a3 here?
Bishop a3 looks good. King actually is quickly running short on squares. The knight makes sense.
Yeah,
and I suppose that
black...
is an advantage of having the knight there in the first place.
Right, I would suppose the black has to meet bishop a3 with knight e7, and then maybe just knight f3. Oh, sorry, I'm Knight f3, followed by kingside castles. What do you thought of with that queen on f6?
Yeah, I don't know if I would commit to castling yet. That's pretty scary.
Right.
Chat says queen f3 for pin. I think then black is just going to freeze and take. And it's very tough. Needs a lot of calculation before you do something like that.
Alright, he goes knight f3 instead, developing the knight. Let's see what black has in mind here. Is queen g6 a move, hitting this pawn
Absolutely.
and this pawn as well?
Yep, that's a great move.
I would suppose white has to respond with d3, and me queen takes g2 with rook g1.
Okay, just preventing bishop a3, I suppose.
Yeah. And by
Now
the way,
black-
for anyone... Oh, sorry, just wanted to point out for anyone wondering that rook on a1 should not be taken because white is going to jump over the c1 bishop and take the queen right back. But yeah, sorry, continue.
Oh, just saying that black doesn't want to take that pawn on b4 because that's just inviting white to bring things onto the diagonal. It can be very useful to let your opponent just have pawns where they're locking themselves in. Yeah, here comes that queen move you suggested.
Yeah, so queen g6 with the double attack on e4 and g2. Maybe queen e2 to defend both, because if you take on g2, we can jump over the f2 pawn.
Yeah, very good. And the knight can't come into d4 with a freeze because those knights are just so very nicely spread out.
Yeah. So yeah, I like queen e2.
Now,
but then,
you do have to
wait,
think about
can
freeze
black
and queen
take
takes-
here? So what about this idea? If black meets queen e2 with knight takes b4 with the idea to jump in here,
bishop
or
a3?
here? Oh wait, or was this the move you were gonna suggest, knight h4 and freezing?
No, I was thinking, what if freeze the king and take on e4? But this is also very interesting. It is playing with fire because knight takes b4. Isn't knight takes b4 very good? Because oh no, the queen falls with check. Ah, very good.
Right. But the reason why he froze that rook on h8 as well is so that black cannot jump the h7 pawn and take the knight. So let's see what Eye of the Tiger is going to do. I would still think maybe knight takes b4, freeze that knight, or I don't know, you might run into some queen f3 business as well.
Yeah, after queen f3, queen f6 might be hanging on. I don't immediately see an issue with that, especially with the freezes being traded. Oh.
But maybe that's why he goes knight e5. So you can take the knight, but black is going to come in with queen takes e4. So let's see what white is going to do here.
Yeah, wow, that's tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you would do other than taking the knight?
Maybe knight d6 so that black cannot take an e4.
Fair.
Okay,
takes the knight makes sense.
King of 1.
Now,
right, by the way,
rook takes h4?
Yeah. No, I just wanted to point out queen takes h4 should not be played, but rook takes h4, definitely move knight e5 on the board.
Yeah, big threat against the king. If the bishop ever leaves c1, knight e3 is going to be very bad, and d4. Right.
Yeah, all right, so 96 on the board. Both players are on 20 seconds apiece. Let's see if Eye of the Tiger can make the comeback here.
Rerouting the queen, preparing queen f6, I assume. Oh, but black's king is a little bit stuck. Whoa.
That looks scary. Maybe take and freeze e6?
Yeah, I don't think the knight can fall because just so much of black's stuff. Oh, but there might be a rook d8 in there. So, bishop. Yes, bishop much safer. So if you bring the queen, you have to calculate a whole lot of things, like what if they freeze and take the queen? Am I going to be able to take the other thing? But yeah, the bishop, very, very good move. And a lot less valuable piece. So if you do mess it up, you've lost much less.
Yeah. All right, so black's staying in this, but he must be in a... It's surprising that he gives up the knight. He could have also gone in with knight... Oh, and there goes the rook as well.
Oh. Gotta move.
It's all of a sudden chaos. Wait.
Counter freeze and queen takes g7? I think he
Uh-oh,
had to take
Zachary
him.
is hanging everything and he lost the game. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, time scrambles are so tough.
They really are. Yeah, so amazing turnaround by Luis Ignacio, who now takes the match to overtime.
Okay, so can you tell us how the tie breaks work here?
Right, so perhaps we can pull that up somewhere, but I'm pretty sure that now they're going to be playing sudden death games, if I'm not mistaken. So whoever wins a game now wins the match. That is one possibility, or they'll just play 2 extra games. Maybe with a 1+1 time control.
Let's have a
Oh,
look.
all right. So sudden death will be 1+2 games. A 1+2 game. The highest seed gets to pick color. If draw, they swap colors and play again. All right. So who is the higher seed here? I would think Luis. So in that case, he's probably going to pick the white pieces if I had to take a guess.
Yeah,
And
if you get a chance to play white, take it.
yeah, so he's probably going to do that. I mean, a draw is very unlikely. So this will probably be the final game of this match. Okay, so let's see what we have here.
So here in 1+2 is where your opening prep really important. You cannot afford to spend like 30, 45 seconds thinking through the opening. You got to have it prepped in order to use that increment effectively to keep yourself afloat.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so let's see. What do we think in this opening with the Queen f3, Bishop e3, Knight h3, Knight c3 setup? To be honest, I'm not that convinced. Or wait, what is this?
Threatening the queen, I guess at worst you can take the knight on f6 and get the fork. But, oh no, it is very important here for white that if they take the queen, it will be with check. If black castles, white has plenty of time to get their freeze back. And they do counter freeze. Oh, but now, very fortunate that queen g3 can be met with trade of queens.
Right. Okay, so he sacrifices the knight, but now knight takes
For the castle attack.
h7.
Yeah, bishop takes h7 or knight. Looks really, really good for white. Because look at that rook on h1.
Okay, knight e4 seems pretty much forced, but now maybe queen g4?
Queen, careful, there's a bishop.
Oh yeah, no, never mind, that's not a move.
But you can maybe take the knight or take the rook, that is also fine. I was thinking take the knight and then either queen g3 or freeze at the castle position with the knight, but yeah, also very, very scary.
I think he's aiming for bishop takes e4 followed by queen g5, because the king can never go to the h file. Ooh, but here he comes with the freeze. Wait, queen h8, is that a move? No, wait,
queen h8 is sometimes
literally not a move.
Not immediately. You have to be really, really careful if there's no way for black to interpose a second thing if you're going to depend on the jump. Sometimes it works, but you got to be real careful.
Wow, look at these tactics. Wait, but you can take with a rook, but then black is going to sack their queen. Oh, but he just freezes.
Oh, it's really scary with the freeze delay. Fortunately, for white, black's light square bishop is not in play. If it was, I think white would just be toast due to the freeze cooldown. Oh! Yeah, you got to take that or you lose your king.
Wow, great tactics by both players. And now it looks like Eye of the Tiger is ahead in the endgame. He's up in exchange and 2 pawns. Wait, rook h8? Oh, wow.
Rook h8 looks pretty good there. Not anymore, because the rook jumps and takes.
Bishop e5? Wait. Knight takes e3, is that a move?
You can freeze and bishop takes, maybe?
This game keeps... Wait, but you can just take that. Uh-oh. Wait, and he's going to go rook h8 after. Or bishop takes...
Whoa.
Rook h8? I think this is over. Right?
Black is down a freeze, so if white can just tickle a couple times with a freeze, then they'll get the mate. Oh, it's the legendary the pawn double push jump. The only time when a jump is useful when you have pawns.
Wow, what a move.
Making space for the king. Wow.
And with the knight jumping around, this is far from over. 94?
With this time situation, anything could happen.
That being said, white is pretty safe. With that bishop controlling a lot of squares, black gives up the g6 pawn. Oh, why doesn't take it?
Threatening checks with the knight maybe can be used with freeze. Oh,
But you don't actually threaten a check, right? Okay, 94 back.
You're right, because the rook is so active that you can get the heavy freeze expire.
Knight takes
There goes a piece. Oh, and that's the game. Forgot to freeze.
Oh. Okay, wow. So Luis Ignacio wins 3 games in a row to take the match and move on to the grand final. What a comeback.
That is an impressive recovery. Really locked in there. And he will face Dragon B70 in the grand final.
Yep. And that is going to be underway very soon. So, and you've been watching this final. Are you going to be making any adjustments? Well, what do you think has been going through his mind when he watched that?
Well, Eye of the Tiger, Luis Ignacio is a variant specialist who's played a lot of spell chess. So I think you're going to want to review his games. If you have time, go look through the archive, see what he plays, and make sure you play solid, principled spell chess so that you don't fall for any variant specialist tricks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so let's see. Eye of the Tiger coming in here with the Queen F3 move. I believe against, she played it a little bit differently. He played like E3, Queen F3, Bishop D3, Knight H3. Here he does go for the traditional E4. So do you think he's switching it up because he's playing Dragon?
Possible. He could also just like to change it up. And I don't remember that this Knight D5 move came in the other game. It could have, and I just forgot. But now I would be trying to maneuver that white knight up into D6. If you can, because that's just a brutal wedge in there if you can get it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. So 92, aiming for 94 and perhaps 96. The other knight can come to H3 and then G5 as well. So overall, I do like this for Eye of the Tiger. Feels like he should have some pretty nice attacking prospects.
Yeah, you do have to be a little bit careful with knight H3 due to queen H4 hitting the king. But I think you probably solve all your problems with G3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, white's got a nice lead in development, as they typically do in spell chess. Now, how do you proceed here as black? White's connect 4 is really locking in that dark square bishop. The queen's locked in, that tip of the pawn chain cuts off f6, got the bishop covering g5, the rook h4. White has a great system here. Oh, now this is something I call the poison knight attack, which is a feature of several spell chess openings. It's often the other knight, actually, that comes there, but one way or another, if you get a knight to b4, you're threatening, of course, to jump in with the freeze on the king, and if white takes it, then the bishop can come in with a freeze, but in this case, I don't know that it's quite working because there's a knight in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
White's knight on e2. Okay, but white doesn't want anything to do with that because he knows Dragon B70 is very, very tricky. He's just going to try to play his nice position with the white pieces.
All right, Bishop B6. I really like what Dragon is cooking up here, creating some nice counterplay. Oh, and he's pointing out Knight C2. Knight C2, Rook B1. You cannot go Knight E1 because then White will jump and take the knight.
Well, you could. He's already offered the knight as sacrifice, so he might do it. He could do it anyway. Get a jump for the piece is sometimes a thing. That is, on the other hand, a pretty nice knight.
Yeah, but I would think it's too much, no? I mean, I don't see a good follow-up after White takes that knight, let's say with the H1 rook.
That's... Oh, the jump will be on cooldown, so there's queen G5. Finally allowing the queen to get out to the queen side. The bishop won't be able to take with the rook just having spent the jump.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been the idea. And he could also be playing long-term to use the two heavy pieces as the rooks and his queen. Be very good with more jumps.
All right, so knight takes a1. What is the idea? Does he just want to go for the attack with, let's say, knight de4, followed by, the bishop g5, knight h5, that kind of thing?
Yeah, after sacrificing that rook is kind of a surprise, but getting the knight in the middle makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
I do also like bishop g5, like you said. Now, black can potentially try to work along those diagonals toward the king. Queen b6 at some moment. Got to be real careful with that knight, but at some point, queen b6 could be useful. Try to break open the center.
Wait, what about knight g5 here? F7 looks difficult to defend. And by the way, dragon down to 6 seconds.
Oh, wow. After knight g5, I think queen b7 defending via the jump. But with this freeze, so hard with 3 seconds. There's queen c6. Is that winning? No, you used the bishop. Well played.
Amazing find by dragon. He played it with 1 second on the clock. So he can still meet that with king to d8 and then g5 maybe?
Well, Eye of the Tiger has a minute 15 to figure out the best counterattack to this. He could also choose to do something just bizarre and surprise Dragon B70, who has 3 seconds to figure out what to do.
Right. What do you think about queen h5 or just like king d8 and if takes, you can take here?
I like that. There's king e7.
Oh, wow.
Whoa! Winning the... Well, does it win the queen? Not quite, because the rook can take.
g5? Oh, no, wait, but your jump is on
jump.
cooldown. Okay, gives a check.
Okay, to get the freeze back. But then you lose the queen.
Wait, so what about check?
Check seems fine.
e6. You could go f4 there, threatening f5 checkmate. Oh, he takes. Oh, and freezes black. g5 is...
Oh, he flagged. Yeah, just hard to work out. How do you feel that?
Yeah, I have no idea what black even had to do there.
Well, you got to counter freeze in some way, but then... Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. We have another one of these bishop freeze attacks, and we get the king e7 line. We have the Bong Cloud defense. Everyone loves the Bong Cloud defense. There's tricks here. So after that, if you take, I think it's mate in 3, knight d5 check, and if takes, of course, jump in, game over. If the king goes back, you freeze at, I think, e7, knight c7 check, and then queen jump and takes e6 as mate.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually beat a very strong grandmaster in that trap.
Oh, and the nice thing is, by the way, that after that 95 trick, you can go to h5 and b5, and you just cannot stop both.
Oh yeah, I hadn't even thought of h5. Yeah, you can't take either piece, because whichever pawn moves, you blunder the jump. So Dragon B70 has apparently been studying some spell chess theory, because this is the sort of thing that you get from playing a lot of games, looking at the database.
Yeah, this looks really scary for Eye of the Tiger. I have no idea what he's supposed to do here. He goes bishop c5. c3 played quickly by Dragon. Do you think he's still in prep?
Very likely. I mean, I don't think you can hang 2 pieces without being in prep. Although here, I guess it's not as hard due to the jump threads. But c3 also makes total sense. Freeze and knight c7 check? Oh, but then counter freeze bishop takes f2. Putting white in check. Dealing with the bishop first so that the bishop won't have the opportunity to give the counter attack. But there is bishop b6, bishop a5 threatening the jump.
Right. And the advantage also of bishop b6 is that then you cannot freeze the queen, the king, and the bishop at the same time.
Right. So black might be able to stabilize with bishop e6 there. I think you're right.
Oh, okay. He goes bishop e7. A little bit risky putting everything in the same 3x3.
I agree. I would immediately start calculating freeze somewhere involving the king and knight check, because you can bring the bishop to f4 as a follow-up. You have queen h4 as a follow-up. You have rook jumps as follow-ups.
Right. Let's see what he's going to do.
I think white has to be... There must be something here, right?
Yeah. What do we think about maybe like knight to c7, freeze e7, and then after that try to come in. Although he might go g6.
Then you win the rook at the very least.
True. Oh yeah. Well, he's gone for it.
He's gone
Let's see
for
it.
it. Yeah, there's got to be something here. If it was bully, you just play that without wondering whether there's a follow-up, because it's highly likely to be.
And by the way, as you pointed out, he also has ideas. Oh, by the way, that was Dragon's arrow.
Okay, so he's
Okay,
thinking the same.
Queen h5, super tempting here. King f8, take on h8.
The king is in such
Queen
trouble.
c7. What about bishop h6 there? Isn't that like...
Yeah, I think
checkmate?
bishop h6 is the resource.
The only thing black could do, although it's probably not going to save him, yeah? Like, let's say take the bishop and freeze the queen, but why can, like, move the knight and it's just going to be made, yeah?
Yeah, that's very scary to use a freeze defensively. Okay, he goes for the jump approach. So playing a little bit more safe. On the other hand, it could be considered more aggressive because now you have the second piece in play rather than just the queen.
Yeah.
So I actually quite like that.
All right, so it will still take a little while for the... Wait, but like...
Oh, no, this is over. There's just too much.
Oh, by the way, he's starting this, but bishop h6 maybe?
Yeah, bishop h6 with a freeze, queen coming. I think black is in serious trouble here.
And by the way, yeah, what about this one?
Oh, getting tempo to bring the jump threat back. Wow. Because it'll be back next turn.
Yeah, I think this is over. Like, yeah, and so he resigns. Great comeback by Dragon. What a game.
Very good prep as well.
I think king e7 is just way too risky. I think you just have to go bishop e4 with a counter freeze.
Well, if you're going to do it, you've got to be prepped. I think it is playable, but only if you really know exactly what all the tricks are.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I just dodge the entire setup and play c6 on move 1 like we've seen here.
Mm-hmm.
With this move order, it's not quite immediately clear to me how the bishop is going to come into play. Okay, that's one way to do it. That makes sense. Nice skewer idea along the long diagonal.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see. Do you think Dragon should... I mean, it's a bit of a pity to give up the jump for that, yeah? Maybe just queenside castles?
Yeah, I think you could probably get away with it because there's just so much stuff piled up on the queen side. It's probably okay.
Huh.
The dark square bishop does get a little bit tied down to the g7 pawn. I guess you can just push g6 and then move the bishop later.
Okay, so let's see what Eye of the Tiger is going to do here. I think this looks pretty alright for Dragon. He can follow with a quick c5. Maybe bring the knight around to f5 somehow, either via e7 or h6. I would think this is okay for black, right?
Yeah, seems so.
And there he goes.
Now, white does have bishop f4 to develop with some tempo, and there it is.
Nice move. Yeah, that one is annoying to face.
Yeah, the queen has some squares. Queen B, well, and by squares I mean a square. Queen b6. And then white can ask how much they care about their b2 pawn, because it can be useful to allow the queen side to open up and bring the rooks toward the castle position.
Wow, Eye of the Tiger did not take the queen. To me, that's very surprising. I thought that would just... Oh, wait, but you cannot recapture. Oh.
No, you wouldn't be able to get back. You could take the rook.
Right, he could have taken the rook, though, and then black takes the rook on h1.
Maybe not worth the jump.
Right. Okay, d6
Or at least that must
played.
have been what he thought.
Wait, so
freeze
what is the
doesn't work.
idea if you take?
Just bishop takes, right?
But then you can jump, no, and take the queen.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a really good question. I guess you'd have to do queen d7 first. It's getting tangled for black.
Yeah, but was he planning that, or I don't know.
I don't know.
Surprisingly, he doesn't take on d6. Okay, I saw, by the way, a black arrow from Dragon earlier, putting at c5, but wow, look at this, knight takes d4, freezing the queen and the knight. Let's see what Eye the Tiger is going to do here. Maybe take on d6 and counter freeze the knight?
Yeah, potentially. Let's see, what are the follow-ups? Black is a little bit tangled, so that might just be a knight that white can gain. There's queen a5, but then just...
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I think queen a5 might be the plan. Trade queens?
What about queen takes a4? What do you think about that position? Or
Oh, queen takes you get a piece for a jump, and as we're trading off pieces, that can be good. He does have 2 jumps still, so that's also seems reasonable.
Right. There's also queen a5, but not a huge fan of that. Although after takes, the king would be forced to go to f1.
Right, and I think isn't that just a queen trade and black's one of his?
Wait, what do you think about this? Okay, I was thinking about this variation. Queen a5 takes king f1, rook d1, but I suppose by then white gets the jump back, right?
You need 2 moves without the jump before it comes back, but aren't there pawns blocking up the d file?
But wait, isn't black in big trouble? The king is under attack and the queen.
Yes, black is in big trouble.
Uh-oh, and he's down a minute on the clock. Yeah, there goes the queen. Dragon is completely lost here, unless I'm missing something. Just take it. No, I would just take the queen.
Yeah, I would think you take the queen. I guess he's just double checking, are there any tricks? Because he is a very, very strong player, and who knows, there could be something up his sleeve. But to me, that does look like a free queen.
Yep.
The spell cooldowns don't look like a problem to me. I guess if you're in the grand final of the championship, you do want to be very certain about potential tricks, but
yeah.
I think that's a free queen. I mean, what's black's follow-up? Rook e8? Ooh, intermezzo.
What?
Might as well win a rook as well. Well, does he win the rook with this? That's mate. Counter freeze and take the queen. I think that was mate in 1, wasn't it? Or was this freeze on cooldown?
No, but like, he could not freeze the king, the rook, and the bishop.
Oh, there's a bishop. I missed the bishop. Okay, yes, good point.
Wait, but what was queen c7? Just take the queen. Now it's anyone's game.
Very odd. He has one to freeze, which is interesting. But yeah, I think it would have been much simpler to take the queen. He might have also missed, like I did, that there's a bishop over there that ruins the counter freeze idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I was playing, like, I would just think, like, hey, I can just take a free queen, like, guaranteed it's right there. But, okay, well, now it's anyone's game. Let's see. I kind of like Dragon here with the 2 bishops.
Okay, both knights threatening to check with a freeze. For example, freeze at the king and knight takes a6. What's the follow-up? Oh, it's double check, which is interesting. Does it do anything? Not necessarily.
Okay, bishop h6, great move. And oh, there goes the knight.
I would think take the bishop instead, but okay.
Okay, I would think Edie, yes, keeping a nice shield for your king. This looks winning to me.
Well, he's trading off as many frees. Oh, beautiful! Winning or trading a freeze. If he can do that one more time, black is probably done for due to the inability to counter freeze.
Yes, because white is up a freeze. That is definitely still worth something. That being said, black should just be completely winning here on the board. It's tricky. It's tricky.
With the king a2. Oh, and then what's the follow-up?
Wait, what about bishop d3? Wait.
Oh, it's over. I mean, white has the only freeze. As soon as the rook runs out of checks, it's over.
So he's going to go rook c8
Yeah,
and freeze,
it's done.
yeah?
That's mate in 1. Wasn't that mate in 1? That was mate in 1.
I thought so. Rook c7 and freeze? No?
Yeah, it's mate in 1.
Wait, what is he doing? Why does he not go for it? Rook h8 with the idea of rook b8? Nope. Okay.
On rook h8. It's
And
still mate in
now
1
maybe
with the pawn.
maybe that's why he played a5, yeah?
But rook g7? I don't think... I mean, even if it doesn't want to do the mate for some reason, you can freeze the rook and take the bishop, and then you win them both. That's mate in 1 as well.
Rook c7 and freeze some stuff?
Yeah. Any check here with a freeze is mate in 1.
Okay, he's up, by the way, 2 pawns. This is also winning in normal chess, so maybe he wants to display his endgame technique. But yeah, just shocking. Just go rook b5 and freeze. Rook b5 and freeze.
Oh, okay. Well, that also works. Okay. That solves that.
Yeah. Okay, wow. What a game. Ida Tiger eventually gets the win after a pretty back and forth game there.
Wow, that was wild. There is a reason I call the 3x3 swindle a swindle, because you can very easily forget about the freeze mates.
Wait, so just explain to everybody, how does the freeze stillmate swindle work again?
Right, so suppose your opponent has a bunch of things, but they're all in the same 3x3 box on the board. You've always got to be able to complete a legal chess move in order to complete your turn. So if your opponent's pieces are all frozen, as in they have literally no legal chess moves, then the game is over. The lack of legal moves ends the game in normal chess as well. And the only thing that distinguishes checkmate and stalemate when you're out of legal moves is whether you are in check. So even if you can't give a check to your opponent, but you can freeze all their pieces, then that is a stalemate. Whereas in the previous game we saw where white had a rook and could have given a check, they could have frozen black's only piece, which is the king, given a check. Because the king's frozen, there's no legal chess moves, therefore the game is over, and because it would have been check, that would have been checkmate, and they win for white.
Interesting, yeah. Well, maybe we'll see that stalemate trap play out at some point. Let's see. Oh, c5 by the tricky move. I guess black's going to take now, and you cannot recapture.
Right, because you hang the king on the file.
Right. So wait, what do you do after e takes d5?
Castle maybe? Just let the pawn go?
Yeah, but you lose another pawn. Oh wait, but no, you cannot take that bishop because black recaptures.
The queen jumps again. I guess you just let it go and maybe try to counterattack on the e file. Pawns aren't really the end of the world to lose in spell chess.
Yeah, but I would still take the pawns, you know?
Yeah, if you can take a pawn, you might as well.
Yeah.
And now, like you say, I think you can just take the pawn and be happy, right?
Really surprising he did not take on e4, but okay, this is of course also possible.
Now, white does have... Oh, no, they don't have bishop g5 because the queen takes an attack on the king, so that would not take advantage of the freeze at all. So you do probably want to counter freeze. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can counter freeze the bishop and the queen and then bishop g5, and then I think you win something.
Does rook e1 instead?
Yeah, probably also good enough because black... I don't immediately see how they're going to follow up.
Right. And it's better also important to point out that after e takes d5, queen takes e1, white has the counter jump,
yes,
coming over to c1 bishop.
Very important indeed.
So, but I kind of like this for Dragon. If he gets that bishop back, I think he has really nice attacking prospects, and he's up a minute on the clock.
Oh yes, time very big factor, and so I think you're right. I think Black should probably just try to develop here. I don't see any big tricks. Okay, I'd just take the bishop, right? Yeah. Now, I think White really wants to clear up the queen side. Maybe bring the queen over to b3. Start harassing the king.
I suppose is going to go queen g6 and
then knight g3. Okay, I guess this does two things at once, right? Attacks the king, guards the g file.
And then maybe
bishop g5 also very good.
Okay, we see some arrows here by Dragon. He's looking at king b8 and king b7. Those white arrows are his. So
and then rook b1.
Oh.
You could have I would have tried to calculate freeze at c7 and queen takes d7 with a follow-up of rook b1. White's queen is hanging here, so you got to do something about that. Probably queen...
Oh, wait, did he just hang his queen?
Did he just hang his queen? I think he hung his queen. Oops.
It's a pretty big oops. Maybe... I don't know. Maybe you can still fight on with like rook b1?
Yeah, I mean, that king is a touch dicey, so it's the finals. Never resign, right? There's... Never know what could happen.
Yep, exactly. Especially when your opponent has 20 seconds on the clock.
True.
By the way, though, as soon as Black gets the jump spell back, queen takes g2 will be checkmate. So let's see what Black is... Oh, takes another bishop. Knight e6 maybe, getting the queen back at least.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that jump.
He goes for it.
Very good.
Take that queen.
He's back in it.
At h6, defending this. Okay, still down a piece though.
Anything could happen here with 12 seconds on the clock for Black.
By the way, taking a super risky. I think that runs the rook ec1, so therefore c4. Maybe rook ec1 anyway. Oh, he goes rook e4.
Yeah, I
rook
think
takes
I like
e4.
that.
But then you can go here.
Oh, that's a fork. Yeah, take the rook in the corner, right? Probably either's winning.
I mean, you're still down. Okay, he goes g4, but rook f... and then he takes the rook. Okay, knight takes d8. But I guess knight h4. I'll go knight h4. Jump around. No.
Okay, suddenly white is up in exchange.
Yeah, h4, stopping rook g5. Maybe rook f6. Coming with the checks anyway. d3 play.
Rolling these pawns.
Take.
Take on d5 incoming? Okay, well, not anymore, because that's just jump.
Rook e3.
Careful, there's freeze ideas, maybe. Oh, the king steps to white square.
By the way, in terms of spells, white is up a jump spell, which could be pretty valuable with the two rooks.
Yeah, if he can trade one of those, then the rook's going to be a monster harassing the king through those pawns.
Yeah, this should be a win for Dragon. Let's see if he can finish it off. Still some technical work to be done.
Takes work. Look at those rooks and the king in the 3x3. Careful. We might see a 3x3 swindle, actually. These pawns are starting to get blocked or disappear.
You got to be very careful. I would, perhaps at some point, it is a good idea to move one of these rooks away so that it's not all in the same square.
Take on... Oh, it's white's move. But you really got to be aware of those. The rooks and king are still in the 3x3.
Very tricky. Oh!
Yeah, that's worth it when you've got two jumps, absolutely.
Yeah, this has to be a winner for Dragon. He's up a full rook.
Yeah, take that pawn.
Oh, And
Yeah, forcing the trade of rooks.
C7. Or, yeah. Okay, this should be winning now, I think, unless we'll see some crazy swindle happen.
I doubt it. It's actually mate in 1 for white right now due to the 3x3.
Oh, but black doesn't get the freeze. Yeah, and it's checkmate indeed. Okay, so not Minto takes another win and moves to match point.
And to be clear, it doesn't matter that black had a freeze because they have no legal moves. That is checkmate due to the inability to complete a chess move.
Nice, nice. Yep. All right, so Luis has to strike back now with the white pieces. Let's see how he will try to do so.
We'll have just a moment before the next game. Right. Reviewing the standings.
Yeah, let's have a look at the bracket here. We see that Minto has a 2-1 lead against Luis Ignacio. So Luis now has to win the next game to come back in the match. It's been a pretty long road for Luis. He had to come back from the loser's bracket. Minto made it from the winner's final. So yeah, let's see if Luis can extend this match. I mean, he has to win a lot of games now. He has to win this next match, this next game, to take it to overtime. Then he has to win the overtime. And then he also has to win the grand final reset. So he has a tough task ahead of him.
Yes. For this first step, though, doesn't he have the white pieces next game?
Yes. Yeah. So that does give him the opportunity to do so.
Right. So he might be a little bit more in control. He gets a moment to decide what opening he's going to play, what his strategy will be. And Dragon B70 is going to have to deal with whatever Luis Ignacio decides to serve up.
Yep. All right. So we're waiting for the next game. The players are getting ready. Maybe one of them needs like a very short break, something like that. So let's see what they are gonna cook up. So in the last white game of Luis, do you remember what happened? Did Minto feels like he got crushed, right? He blundered something in the opening.
I don't recall. I see the standings have updated, and that might have been our fourth game, potentially, in which case we will take it to tie breaks. Just a moment while we confirm.
All right, yeah, so right now it's looking like it's 2-2. And so we're going to be going to overtime. So that means they're playing 1+2, and we are off. So let's see, what do we have here?
Luis Ignacio on the white pieces in bullet can be a substantial advantage if you can make something out of your prep.
Yep. So let's see. Luis has to, if any of these two players wins this game, they win the match. And for Dragon, that would mean winning the championship. And for Luis, that would mean forcing the grand final reset.
Now, the reason of bringing knight to a6 here is, I think, to consider a poison knight attack on b4. However, it's a little bit more difficult to achieve with the queen already on c7 rather than the diagonal toward h4. So it could also just be a patient developing move.
All right, so knight e7 played by Dragon, knight f3. I would say this looks more pleasant for white, more space, better attacking prospects. h6.
Knight g5 anyway?
Oh, because if takes, then rook takes h8.
With the queen off the back rank, that rook jump in could be really unpleasant for black.
Right, okay, so queen f3 played. Black does have the option to go g5, but instead he castles, sacrificing that. But, instead the tiger takes here and threatens that king on c8. What do we do now? G5 and a counter freeze?
Well, you got to counter freeze the bishop, and then I think white knight g6. Oh, winning the queen with the jump. It is for 2 bishops and a jump, though, so it is not over.
Well, but at first, white took the knight, so it's actually only for 1 minor piece. Oh, but there goes the other knight, by the way.
Okay.
This is game on.
It is game on. This is... Okay, another jump. Oh, but the bishop can jump and block. So you could trade a jump for a freeze, and I would personally do it.
Ooh,
that's scary for the king.
Dragon really low on time here. His king is wide open.
Rook b1 incoming, yeah.
I don't know what you do here. This looks...
this is... Oh, dear. Yeah, this is over, I think. The rook cuts off the file.
And it looks like we're going to be going to a reset. Can you take that and freeze?
You have to. It's, I think, the only legal move. But yeah, counter freeze. Wow, Luis Ignacio powering through to take it to a grand final reset.
What a fighter he is. I mean, he forced the tiebreak in the losers final. Now he wins the tiebreak in the grand final. So let's see what's going to happen in the reset. Maybe the players get a little bit of a break, and then they will go back to 3+2 after this bullet action.
Yes, that will probably be welcome, having just thrown pieces all around and marched the king everywhere in a bullet panic.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right, so the reset, by the way, is also 4 games, so same format, 3+2, and yeah, if it's 2-2, we're going to be going to a tiebreak. So the game is going to get underway any second now, but what a final. What a final.
And we're off. Very standard and safe c6 from Dragon B70 this time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. I had a tiger starting with the white pieces, so he's the first to exert some pressure. Dragon mixing it up with that move knight f6. What do you think about that one?
You can play d4 here, and it's really bad to take because then queen e2 and the knight spin to the king and you lose it. But here the knight maybe now posting the center. I'm not usually playing this as black, but there is some advantage to having an active knight.
Yeah, what is really annoying for black is that very often you cannot really fight for the center. White's just going to have, let's say, those pawns on e5 and d4, have more space, and they can really try to build up an attack from there.
Bishop d3 is interesting, though, so going for more piece activity over building the center and preventing the other bishop from coming in. Maybe it'll come in along the short diagonal.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see what Dragon is going to do. Maybe queen c7. How do you defend that pawn?
Yeah, queen c7's a pretty normal move. Oh, wow, f5. This is a move sometimes. This isn't completely shocking. The knight can come back, pawn can take.
What about queen takes?
Yeah, you can take with the queen here because the knight and the pawn are spread out, so there aren't really freeze ideas.
Right.
There is queen e4 just to tickle the king with the jump threat. I don't know if it accomplishes a great deal. Freeze doesn't help either because the knight just jumps back. That makes sense. And black also cannot freeze and take the queen because... Oh, no, they can't because the knight and bishop are too spread out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see what Dragon is going to do. Knight a6, he comes in with another knight.
Makes sense. Got to get your pieces in the game. I think the queens are still fine, sort of having a stare down. Probably d4? Yep.
Yep. Here we have it on the board.
Now, white would probably like to be able to play knight h3, but queen h4 is slightly annoying. Oh, we have another attempt at the poison knight attack, which does probably work now due to the queen being on that diagonal on the king side.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, kind of tough for white to figure out how to deal with it. Okay, sidestep makes sense. And if you try to jump in with the D knight and a freeze, the king and bishop are also too spread out.
Yeah.
So now black's probably wishing they had their bishop in the, wow, and they use a jump to do it. Jump sacrifice for piece activity.
Wow. So do you think getting the bishop to a6 is that valuable that it's worth a jump?
I think I do, and Luis Ignacio agrees. Sacrificing a rook and a jump to remove it. Yeah, that was a great find by Dragon B70. It's so easy to think, oh, I'm only going to use my jumps for captures, and you just are blind to them otherwise. But that was a beautiful jump sacrifice.
All right, so bishop takes d5. I suppose c takes is going to be the response.
Yep.
That's what Ada Tiger is going to do here. I like this for Dragon. He's up in exchange.
Queen is in danger now.
Yeah. Ooh, he takes it. Wait, how do you okay, you're gonna have to counter freeze and wait. Then maybe rook takes h7, so maybe rook g8 and counter freeze?
Yeah, I think that's probably required. So I guess white's winning a pawn. Maybe it doesn't actually do much, but black does have to find that, and he does not find it. He does, however, threaten the counter jump.
Right, bishop f4, but now you just take and you're up in exchange, no? You're pretty happy here, I'd say, with black.
Seems so. Rook c1 is now not a move. It was going to be a move if that knight didn't move. Oh, no, it wasn't. There's a bishop. Never mind. What am I talking?
All right, so let's see what Dragon is going to do here. He goes d6, aiming to build a big center with e5. Rook c1, by the way, not a move, as you pointed out, because white can take. 5 bishop b3. Maybe just like... But the one thing that is a little bit concerning is that Dragon is below on the clock. Can definitely be a factor later on. Knight h4, trying to jump in with the knight.
White's king's pretty safe. Hard to say really how either side's going to make an immediate threat. Black's wisely keeping their king on light square so the bishop can't cause problems.
Yeah. All right, so h5. Grabbing some space on the king side. Let's see, Dragon is going to have to speed up now.
White can take some time to plan how they're going to bring these pieces to more active squares, like how to bring the rook. Apparently, bit of a lift. Same idea from Dragon B70. Although less so because there's no rook g7 due to the knight.
Okay, he's hitting the knight on f5, so let's see. Oh, wait, he just
allowing
it.
That's the last jump, but white does not have much material. I don't think that was... I wouldn't have gone for that personally.
With white or with black?
With white, because look at all these things black has. They're up an entire rook, and white only has one rook and a single bishop, not the bishop pair.
Okay, so d takes or f takes here?
Probably f. I would try to keep the d file more blocked up, but allowing the bishop scope also makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at this from a normal chess perspective, black has to be completely winning. He's up a full rook. White's pieces also aren't doing much. Maybe black can initiate some trades with a move like bishop c5. Oh, or that.
Yeah, this would be great if black had a jump, but he's going to make something out of it with the pawn attack on the piece. Very nice. So 2 pieces for the rook. Very nice.
Yep. Still not over though. White can try to do something with the jump, but very difficult, I'd imagine.
Yeah, got to bring the rook around and menace the king with the jump threat. Or along that axis as well. That also works.
I think white really doesn't have enough to make anything work with only the rook that they have.
Yeah, and the freezes are going to create big issues if the king and rook ever get too close together. Although it's a little bit tough for black to bring pieces in the game.
Yeah, black still has to convert this, but I think Dragon has this in the back. He's an IM. He's a strong chess player, so I do think he's just going to finish this one off.
Yeah, it's
a bit tricky. C6.
Oh, pawns are starting to go away. That's concerning for white.
Okay.
And black can also just pursue the strategy of getting rid of or blocking all white's pawns and then 3x3ing them.
Yeah. All right, looks like Dragon is going to take the first game in the grand final reset, but obviously he still has to finish it off.
Oh, watch that clock, though. They're both under 10 seconds.
Yeah.
There are swindles. You can do a freeze swindle.
Rook c4?
Okay, trying to time pressure, but didn't quite do it. The 2-second increment is actually pretty generous.
Yeah.
Oh, watch for 3x3s, though. I don't think that does it, though. You just counter freeze and the rook hangs. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so nice win by Nutminto. He wins the first game with black. Let's see how Luis Ignacio will try to strike back.
With e5, very ambitious. Dragon b70 deciding whether to go for this, and he does.
Mm-hmm.
The normal symmetrical defense, which I think is pretty much required if you're going to play e5. Oh, and we don't get knight c3. So this is new ideas. Usually you'll go knight c3 to get tempo on the pawn. Okay, brings it now. It's a little bit of a move order.
Okay, let's see what the Tiger is going to do here. Goes knight e7. Sacrificing that pawn, but I don't think, you worry too much about that pawn.
Even a sacrifice, because there's knight takes b4 as well.
Also, queen b6 ideas now that white has castled.
True. Yeah, e d4?
Okay, so is it a crazy idea to take? And in case it takes, then knight takes d4 and counter freeze on c2, let's say?
Freeze on c2 as black?
Yeah.
I want to look at rook jumps and takes f7, threatening the counter freeze checkmate. I'd have to calculate that quite a bit before I played it. It seems pretty scary. I'd be more likely to try bringing the queen to b6, like you said. Oh, and okay, well, white's going to give him a tempo to do just that.
Right. Okay, so let's see what black's going to do. Queen b6, a good square, eyeing that king, kind of, on g1.
Yep, ed4 incoming, I would think.
Yeah. Dragon can... Okay, goes bishop b3, very safe move.
Yep, smart.
Hitting the queen. Queen... I just have to go back, but it's a bit of a pity.
And
Cannot go to
c7?
a6. Right. But then you can maybe take a tempo. Yeah, so it goes all the way back.
Okay, wants to keep an eye on the king side, I suppose.
Okay, you could consider d5, but I think it's b4. Interesting to see how this will develop. I think it's b5 on the board.
Now black can just do the same. Both castle very symmetrical. Often in these sort of e4, e5 setups, one side will not have castled, and there's interesting knight attacks toward the king, but a bit more calm here. Bishop g5 again. Although now it just goes back to b6. Don't know that that's any use.
Wow. b6 you cannot take, because that hangs the queen.
I see, I missed that. I don't think that works. Knight takes f7. And if jumping takes queen, it's mate.
Wait, so if you take on f7, where do you freeze?
You would freeze in the very corner, h8. This also works.
Ooh.
Yeah, so threatening to... Yeah, so White has just won a freeze by threatening the king on his opponent's freeze cooldown.
Yeah, freezes are pretty powerful. As we saw in that one game, black was up a bishop in the endgame, but if you're down a freeze, at some point your opponent can just check you, freeze you. If you don't have any freezes left, and it's just over.
Exactly.
So you definitely don't want to fall behind in freezes unless you, I mean, if you win a queen or like a lot of material, it's usually worth it, I'd say, right? But
Yeah.
to get your bishop developed,
For
definitely
development,
not.
no, freeze for development's very, very bad.
Yeah, and we see it right here. Dragon taking a piece, but he gives up his extra freeze though. G4.
Oh, no, queen jump in to save the tempo. Trade the queens with the jump. I think anything else, you lose the piece back for not much.
Right, but it is a pity that you lose the thing.
It is the jump, yeah.
The jump, yeah.
I
But
don't see
that
how
game
it's-
should still be pretty good. Okay,
Yeah, it's his
six.
first jump, so he's got another.
Right.
And now whoever has fewer jumps is going to want to trade off the jumping pieces. So white's goal will now be to get those rooks off the board.
Yep. By the way, do not go bishop d2. That's the move I would play in normal chess, but it hangs the bishop here.
Right. And it would be worth it, I think, for black to take that, given that they are up a jump.
Yep. Rook e8. Dragon up a piece, but he's down a jump and he's down on time, down 40 seconds.
Yeah. Does the b pawn matter? Apparently not.
Okay, not over yet. I'd say at some point you want to bring that knight back. Goes bishop e3.
Definitely. Yeah, knight's not doing anything over there.
I would take if I was Ida Tiger to try to jump in with knight c2 as well. Ooh.
Oh, coming for the king. Although the knight suddenly does have a use on h4, preventing knight f3 check. Oh, yeah, that would be absolutely nasty. If the knight ever moves there, frees the king, knight f3 check, and then the rook comes to the back rank with a jump, and it's just checkmate.
Yep. All right, bishop d4. He's trying to trade off that tricky knight. Let's see what Ida Tiger is going to do here. I think, yep, he has to keep it on the board. By the way, do not go to c3.
Oh, that brings it.
c5, b6. Ida Tiger trying to fight back here.
Dragon b70, 15 seconds. Fortunately for him, the queens are off the board, so there's not total chaos, but the rook freeze ideas are going to be coming into play.
Yeah, Ida Tiger has to try to get him low on time and then hit him with a freeze. That's going to be tough to deal with.
Yeah.
So Dragon really has to try to stay above 10 seconds, I'd say.
Now, in normal chess, what would you say about the value of the d pawn? How menacing is that, really?
I mean, in normal chess, I wouldn't be too worried about that pawn because you can just take it here. But, does he have anything up his sleeve here? Does he have a tricky freeze still or not?
Oh, I'm trying to calculate like freeze at a1 and rook c1 check. Okay, white just shuts that all down. Doesn't want to calculate. Not enough time.
Yep.
And he wisely makes space on the h2 square. There are some absolutely nasty jump back rank mates in spell chess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this should be a win for Dragon. I mean, let's see if Ida Tiger can still cook something up. G4, I don't know, rook c2. Or coming with the other rook. This is a bit tricky. Rook b2? Wait, rook b2, what do you do? Wait,
there goes the knight, right?
Yeah, and then I suddenly like Black's chances. He's got 3 seconds. Uh-oh. Gotta move.
Gotta move. Oh. I mean, normal chess, what was that? White has the passer. Does that matter at all?
I mean, in normal chess, yeah, you like to clean up. I would definitely take an a4, but allowing rook b2 is tricky. I don't think he should have done that.
Oh, okay. So it's now. Let's see. What have we got?
It's now 1-1. That's a huge comeback from Louise. I mean, it looked like Nunminto was winning. if he had won, it would have been 2-0. It would have been tough for Luis to come back from that. But now 1-1, it's anyone's match.
So close. This is also a new theory for me. I do not recognize bishop d3. I think the idea... actually, I do recognize bishop d3, but in a different move order. There's this nasty attack where you take on h7 and the rook supports it via the jump. But now there's a knight on f6, so I'm not quite sure what that's meant to do. You can try to freeze, but the king and the h1 are too far away. You can't freeze them both.
Right. So
Black
let's see. So, oh wow, knight b5. Look at that. Oh wait, maybe he's also aiming for like bishop g6.
Oh, that might be why the bishop there. Yes.
Wait,
Actually,
but can't you freeze c4?
You can freeze c4. Yes.
But then, queen where? The
Queen
h5?
h5, and win the rook.
Yeah, but you can go You can go rook takes h5, but then the funny thing is after all of that, you cannot take on h1. Okay, let's see. Rook g6 on the board.
Smart, dodging the...
What about bishop g6? Goes queen h5. Wait, wasn't bishop g6 better, or was I missing
frozen?
something?
It would have been great if it was legal, but it was frozen with the center.
Yeah, never mind. Sorry.
Okay, so we don't get a rook. This looks good for white, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Spells are equal. That knight's probably a goner, but the exchange ought to be good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, still not completely over. That knight on 8 is a little bit stranded over there, but normally this should be very good for white, right?
I would think so. Just develop. Knight f3. Maybe if you can Keto, bring the dark square bishop.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, starting with white is definitely an advantage. So pretty tough for Dragon to lose that white game and lose the advantage in the match. I mean, do you think he can still strike back from this, or?
Oh yeah, he's a super strong player, and still anything could happen. They're both just amazing. Luis Ignacio, though, it depends on how much prep he's done, I think. Because if he has some surprises left to pull in a variation that Dragon b70 chooses, he could just finish Dragon off very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't, then of course Dragon's got the huge advantage being an international master.
Right, okay, so let's see what's going to happen here. Knight a6, he's going to try to trap that knight somehow. Guess by following up with like b5 maybe? And bishop b7, he goes knight c5 first.
Goal is e4, I guess, and then what?
Yeah. I don't know. This should still be very good for white. I mean, we're talking about a full rook.
Yeah, if he can keep the knight, which, if he can maybe break open the queen side, the rook can help the knight escape.
Yeah. All right, so bishop 5 by Dragon. Maybe, yeah, d4, nice move. Maybe Dragon is aiming to go king c8 to b8 to pick up the knight that way.
I don't know, but in that time, white's going to be moving these pieces around and developing more.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not going to be straightforward to actually take that knight. So let's see what Dragon is going to do here. I think he probably has to take on d4. Meet knight takes with, let's say, bishop g6.
Yeah. Oh, the trouble. Oh, yes, that's a good freeze. Got to counter freeze the knight. Now the follow-up.
Wait, so what do you do after d takes e5 and freeze the knight on d3?
Maybe jump in with the rook. Rook takes g2. It's bold and it's kind of speculative, but that rook is currently doing exactly nothing.
Right. I mean, what you can do is go bishop b4, but king f1 and...
Wow, jump sacrifice for double check. But now two pieces are hanging, right?
3, actually. The bishop on b4 is hanging, the knight on f6 as well. I think this has not brought Nalminto anything. He's still down a full rook, and he's down a jump now.
Oh. And now white's knight is, I think, totally fine. Don't even have to take on a7 for the jump to defend it.
Exactly.
There are
Okay,
also
two.
issues. Oh, yeah.
That knight on b2 is trapped. Yeah. No, I think Ida Tiger is going to take this one, take a 2-1 lead, and move to match or championship point.
There are resources trying some freeze with knight d2 check. Or that, yeah.
Okay.
Now that knight is a goner.
Yes, I think you just take no and just counter freeze.
Yeah, you got to counter freeze, and then probably knight g3 is black's idea to get the rook, but that's 2 knights for a rook, isn't it?
No, that is just a knight. You're just down a knight and a bishop for nothing.
But the rook's falling here, right? Other way? King g1? Why?
Well,
oh, because the bishop was hit. Ah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but now he's just down a knight and a bishop for nothing. This knight is kind of stuck over here. So, and Ida Tiger has much more time, so it is going to be a pretty straightforward win.
Yeah, it does look very, very good for white. Oh, that might be a corner.
All right, so let's see. He can give up a jump here or try to pick up the knight in normal fashion. He gives up the jump. Takes an e5. I don't think Dragon can do anything here with only a rook.
Oh, yeah, and Dragon was already down a jump, which makes it very tough that Luis still has one. Yeah, that...
He could have played rook takes c2, but it would have given up his final jump. So I think the right decision to not do that.
Right.
It's the play for tricks, but it's tough.
Fork incoming.
Okay. 5.
Okay, so black's winning a knight here, I think.
But a rook takes c6 can always be met with b takes c6.
And the pawn takes on e4?
Yeah, but the...
It might not work.
Traits should be good here for Ida Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah, this appears to be over.
Unless he can pull out a stalemate trap that you mentioned before.
There's so many pawns.
Wait, can he do something now?
You know, unfortunately, you can't stalemate yourself with a freeze. So you can't just freeze your own king and say, look, I'm stalemated. You have to actually make a legal chess move if there is some way for you to do so. This queen is going to finish black off real quick now.
There it is. 3. Yep. There it is. And Ida Tiger takes a 2-1 lead. Dragon now has to strike back with the white pieces.
Yeah, it is good for him that he has white. Let's see what he chooses. So far, very normal. He's probably going for his sort of novel setup, bishop e2 and knight h3 that he's employed during the qualifiers.
Yeah, the one thing that is a bit tough for Dragon, though, is that even if he wins this game with white pieces, he will be playing with black in the overtime game.
Oh, that is a very good point. So it is actually an uphill battle for him. Wow.
Yep, it really
Luis
is.
on an absolute tear. Very, very impressive.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. What do we make of this opening here from Ida Tiger, the Caro French modern defense?
In my experience, these pawn serrated situations don't do a great deal. So I'm not quite sure what the prep is here. That rook is in a little bit of a pickle.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
although black does have the resource that once the bishop takes the queen, if white allows it, then there is a jump threat on the king. So that's a good move.
And he also has the idea of queen to h4.
And then rook jumps, and you lose your queen. White loses a
never
jump.
mind, you just take. Yeah, but it should be worth it because you win a piece. So I would think a3 and freeze the bishop was black planning to do there.
I think the only thing you could try is queen h4. Huh. Right, so... Oh, but then white does have to move now. So there's also g6, or sorry, g3. But black might be getting the... Okay, they go for a3. And now, interestingly enough, they might not even want to take the bishop with the pawn, because then rook jumps and takes on a1. Okay, here comes the queen. So we do see this. Now, I was expecting rook jumps and takes the queen, and black does get the rook back at the end if white goes for that, because of the jump of the h7 pawn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think rook takes
so,
worse.
But what do you think about... Okay, so let's say white... Wait, what do you think about this line?
That
takes
blunders
b4.
the king, right?
Oh, that hangs the king, yeah.
Okay, so we get this. Black is now up an exchange, I think?
But the rook is trapped. I mean, you can go to h6, and then white can get it back if he wants. Or, no, now, but not necessary, at least for now.
I don't think the jump is worth the exchange.
Especially because the rook on h5 is kind of misplaced.
For now. In spell chess, it can actually be useful to get an active rook, but you're right, now it's just all jammed up.
Yeah. An idea, by the way, that black potentially has, but I think it would be too much to go rook h1. But it's probably
the
too
king
much.
is just running away, and then there's jump problems for black.
Yeah. h4.
If black could bring another piece, then that could be an idea, but so far all their minor pieces are just on the back rank.
Yeah. Bishop a6, he's maybe setting it up. Like the idea of here, it would force king d2. And also, by the way, bishop a6, maybe he's freeing up a few more squares.
Mm.
Could also go bishop e3.
Makes sense. Oh, there's also... does bishop g5 actually do anything? Then there's just h6, probably not.
Right.
Now, white probably should not trade here. Oh! Now the rook is kind of stuck now, isn't it?
Yeah, you can go rook h1 check, but then there's king d2. You can go rook h6 as well. In case of rook h6, I still wouldn't be in a rush to take, because the rook is so stuck over there. So let's see what black will decide on. Rook h6, yeah, maybe now just like bishop e3, develop, and or bishop g5.
Ah, yeah, restricting the king can be interesting.
Dragon taking his time here. He's down a minute on the clock. That's
that's
quite risky.
That's game, isn't it? Jump and rook h1 check. Oh no, there are. No, the rook will be able to jump wherever the black rook goes. You try to freeze the king, but along the back rank, the other rook will jump and take. So that's probably what he was calculating, was can I get away with this freeze?
Yeah. I don't... Oh, I think Ayatollah is in trouble. Like, you can go rook h1, but then... Okay, here's maybe what you have to do. Maybe you have to go rook h1, king e2, take on c1, you recapture, and you take here. But then white is much better in terms of, like, normal chess terms, and white... no, wait a second.
White would have the only
White
jump.
would be down... White would be down a freeze. No, wait, sorry, yes, but white has a jump. Wait, maybe he had to do that.
Okay, so what
you
is...
take the rook. Oh.
So we get a whole ton of trades. White is just up a piece.
No, he's down the exchange. Right, and now really, after not taking the rook, I feel like Dragon is messing this up. Now, black is up a pretty healthy exchange. And by the way, black is not down any spells. I think Ida Tiger is in great shape to win this game.
Wow. I completely forgot there's a rook still on a8. Yikes. Okay, trying some attacks against the king. Freeze at f7 and knight f6 check is an idea. So hard to follow up. Black allows it.
Tricky move.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
But he had his own
CD4, true.
Wait, but now knight f6 and freeze of 7?
Still hard to find the follow-up, but I don't see how it hurts because the thing is defended. Okay, now it doesn't work at all because the king and knight are too far away.
Yeah. Rook h1, okay. But both players super low on time. Let's see. Knight f4, rook g7. But Minto has to win. A repetition does not save him.
Kind of hard for black to make progress, though.
Yeah, but the knight's coming to f5, like he's getting there. I think black is going to win this one.
Rook g2? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there's
your
rook
move.
Yeah, if black could get the rooks round the corner, I think he ought to be doing pretty well. Oh, freeze threats incoming. Hard to bring the other knight, though, and it's so tough to get the knights around this sort of structure.
But black's king is so super safe. a5 now, or yep.
Yeah. Look at all those pawns locked up, just making the jump not helpful for white.
Knight b5, though.
Yeah.
I think he has to try it. Takes the freeze.
No, counter freeze. Counter freeze f1, rook g. Yes. There goes a rook.
Oh, that's. And he's got.
Uh-oh, a bishop
the
as
knight
well.
as well. Dragon barely has anything left here. I think that's the championship.
His time is under a second, and it's over.
Wow, what a game, what a final. And it is Eye of the Tiger who takes it all in the end. What a comeback.
Amazing.
Yeah. No, really impressive how he managed to fight back from the loser's bracket. He run as well coming from the winner's bracket, but unfortunately fell a little bit short in the grand final. But yeah, we watched some amazing spell chess today.
We really did. Love to see such high-level spell chess. My favorite variant. This is the biggest event of the year for spell chess, so it's been great to see.
Yeah, it's been great covering this event with you, Ben. I mean, definitely learned a lot. Had a lot of fun. And so I want to leave the final words of the show up to you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for watching. If you want to play spell chess, you can go to chess.com/variants. It's very exciting, as I hope you've seen today. And there will be further instances of the Chess.com Community Championships for all sorts of other variants as well. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Grandmaster Bach.
Thanks everyone for watching, and we look forward to seeing you all in the next event from Chess.com. See you all.